tonight on TNT Sunday Night Special. We're in the sold-out Georgia Dome, where the Chiefs come to Atlanta for the first time since 1972. The Chiefs looking to go 3-0 for the first time since '66, meet a retooled Atlanta Falcons team under new coach June Jones. Hi again, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. It was 25 years ago the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and after their huge win over San Francisco last week, there's a sense in Kansas City this could be their year to return to the Classic. On the other hand, the Falcons are a team that could be one of the surprising teams in the NFL, and they look at this game tonight as a test to see how far they have come. This is a football team that really has some weapons. With me is Pat Haden, and Pat, we have the master, Joe Montana, against the revitalized Jeff George. You look at Montana, he's playing with so much confidence. As an end result, so are the Chiefs.
Well, you know, their defense, the Chief defense, has played with confidence for a couple of years now, but this offense is really beginning to come on, and it's because of Joe Montana. When Joe Montana is your quarterback, everybody on your team feels like you have a chance to win the game, regardless of the score, regardless of the circumstances. You see what he's done this year. No interceptions to 4 touchdowns. The other thing about Joe Montana is he has spread it around as he always does. He's used the tight end. He's used wide receivers. He's used backs. But the key for Montana tonight, I think, Gary, really, is the yards after the catch. They're going to catch those short passes. They want to turn those 10-yard receptions into 20- and 30-yard receptions.
After 4 unhappy years in Indianapolis, Jeff George has found a new life. The change of scenery has really helped him. He's been putting on a passing clinic.
Yeah, he really has. He's as hot as any quarterback in the NFL right now. This is a guy that's completing 77% of his passes. You see what he's done touchdown-wise, interception-wise. But look, 277 straight passes without interception. That is phenomenal. Now, while Montana is spreading it around, he is throwing the ball to Andre Rison. He is waiting for Andre Rison. Andre Rison's caught 26 passes, 4 touchdowns. He's going to look for him again tonight. But I think one of the keys for them is really trying to get some passes on the right side of their formation. Rison lines up on the left. They need to throw some on the other side.
Well, we know Montana's headed to the Hall of Fame, but there's another Chief that's also headed there. That is Marcus Allen. He is a complete football player.
You know, Gary, I think he can run, he can catch, he can block, he sometimes throws, but I think his greatest contribution to the Chiefs right now is his leadership. The expectations he has about his performance and the way he prepares himself for games, I think helps all that Kansas City team. Now, Marty Schottenheimer's worried that, hey, maybe we're using him a little bit too much. They're going to spot him tonight with Greg Hill, the #1 draft pick. But you wait and see. All the critical situations, Marcus Allen will be in the game.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons are excited about their running back, Eric Pegram. You know, Pat, he may be the best unknown player in the NFL.
Well, I agree with you. Here's a guy that last year ranked 4th in rushing in the National Football League. He had more yards rushing than Barry Sanders. Everybody thinks about the running shoot as a passing offense, but I think it's a very good running offense as well. Remember, you're going to have 5, 6, 7 defensive backs in the game at a time. Not too many big bodies to stop the run, Gary, so that gives him a lot of opportunities. And if he starts fast, that slows down the pass rush.
Okay, we have Montana, we have George, we have Allen, we have Pegram. This is going to be a high-scoring game.
I think so. I think we're going to have a high-scoring game. We're certainly going to have a lot of passes thrown tonight by both of these football teams. So for the Chiefs defensively, I think what they have to do is find a way to slow down Andre Rison. You're not going to stop him, but slow him down like they did with Jerry Rice last week. And for this Falcon defense, I think the key thing is tackling tonight. You know Montana is going to complete those short passes, but they have to tackle those receivers after the catch.
The Chiefs, directed by this man, Marty Schottenheimer. He'll be 51 years old the 23rd of this month. He took the Chiefs to their first AFC West title since '71. He's had 4 straight 10-win seasons. In his career, he is 3-0 against Atlanta. And the new coach of the Falcons, June Jones, he's 41 years old. These last 3 years, the offensive coordinator for Atlanta. Very patient, a good listener, truthful with his people, replacing Jerry Glanville. And I might add, he doesn't leave tickets for Elvis. He knows that he's no longer with us. So as we start this game, the Falcons have won the toss. They will receive, and Lynn Elliott gets into this one. Tony Smith back deep. To the 20, and he'll be tackled there. As you see these throwback uniforms, the Falcons wearing the uniforms that they wore from '71 to '89. Well, Jeff George, #1 rated quarterback of the NFC after 2 weeks. 77% completion, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's just been spectacular. He goes into tonight throwing 277 consecutive passes without an interception. In military terms, Pat, He has a hair trigger release and a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, and he's on a roll, and I think the big thing for him is he's been patient in this run and shoot. He always wanted to throw the ball downfield, but this year he's been patient.
They'll start just across their own 20. Jeff George on first down to throw. Near side, Ricky Sanders, the former Washington Redskin, makes the catch. An 8-yard pickup on the play. Let's look now at the rest of this Atlanta offense. They have 7 new starters on offense. We mentioned Pigra. He's the number 4 rusher in the NFL. Sanders inactive the first 2 games, making his first catch just a moment ago. This offensive line is a veteran offensive line led by Mike Kinn in his 17th year, and he says his final year in the NFL. Second down and a short 2. Pigra trying to get the first down. He's got it. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Defensively, let's look at this Kansas City team. They have gone to a 4-2-5 to go against the run and shoot. Up front, Derek Thomas and Smith will be switching around a lot as we watch this game. They'll start 2 linebackers in Jamison and Jaime Fields. And in the secondary, 5 different people, as they'll have Jay Taylor, a very good cover man, starting as one of 3 cornerbacks. First down at the 38. Sanders in motion. George releases it to Sanders. Same play as earlier. Sanders makes his second catch. Dale Carter coming back. The experience of Sanders, a good guy to go to early in a football game.
Yeah, you know, particularly when you're trying to spread it around. Remember, they came into this game, everybody concentrating on Andre Rison. But one of the things you have to do is you have to protect first. You push Derek Thomas upfield. That's Mike Kinn, the left tackle. It creates a big old throwing lane. And Andre Rison had run an inside route, and Ricky Sanders just kind of circled out in the back, right in the flat there for an easy catch in a big game.
Second down and 4. George to Pigra. Pigra gets to about the 45. They'll be 3 yards short of the first down. Mark Collins coming up to make the stop. Collins, of course, one of the free agent pickups coming from the New York Giants. A secondary that was suspect heading into the year, but Marty Schottenheimer has assured us that this may be the best secondary he's had, a best tackling secondary anyway.
Yeah, and watch the tacklers of the Chiefs. They have forced 8 turnovers this year, where there have been 8 interceptions and 8 fumbles recoveries, and they're going to try that tonight. You may not pick Jeff George off, but those secondary guys, and Derek Thomas and Neil Smith, they'll be stripping the receivers after the catch.
3rd and 3. George, near side, and Jennifer Rison is picked off. Intercepted. Running over the Dale Carter, and he's knocked out of bounds short of the 25-yard line. And as you just spoke about an interception, Carter comes up with one, his first of the season. And that will end a streak of 279 consecutive passes without an interception for this guy.
The receiver right here is at the bottom of the screen, and that's Andre Rison. Now, with Rison, they throw the ball to him even when he's covered. But Dale Carter indeed had him covered. And you're going to see some of that tonight by the Chiefs. They'll try to stop Rison in a couple different ways. That time it was plain old man-for-man coverage. Dale Carter on Rison, and he did the job.
Joe Montana will start from the 28. Gives out to Marcus Allen, and Allen gets a couple of yards. Montana, we called him the master at the start of this broadcast, a legend, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. At 38, the oldest starting quarterback. He's worked hard in the offseason. Says he's the strongest I've ever felt. He's a perfectionist. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't throw bad passes.
Yeah, you know, everything he catches, throws, is catchable, except for the ones he throws away. But he said tonight the key for all is protection. We have to pick up the Falcons' blitz.
2nd and 8. Montana to Allen. Allen trying to get outside. A flag is thrown as he skirts inside the 20 to the 17, but a penalty flag. Marcus Allen last week had 114 yards in total offense and was brilliant again in the goal line area. Holding against Kansas City, Johnny Greer, our referee.
You know, Keith Cash, number 89, it's number 82, the tight end there. And here's Keith Cash, 89.
Holding.
He's been featured as a receiver. But now you see the block. They called the hold on him, but really kind of blocked two guys. But Keith Cash is a guy they're trying to feature in the passing game tonight.
He has emerged as a real weapon for this Kansas City team. Second and 18 for the Falcons. Timeout called by Atlanta. Some confusion. Vinnie Clark running over to the near sideline, getting the head linesman's attention, and so the Falcons will burn their first timeout. So we'll take a timeout. The Chiefs, after the turnover, have the football when we return. The Georgia Dome, where the Chiefs have the football now, resting at the 37-yard line of Atlanta. An interception by Dale Carter on the initial series, ending a streak of 279 consecutive passes without an interception by Jeff George. Montana will bring him out with two receivers split to the top of the field. Montana, Willie Davis makes the catch, and he got the first down. He's just short of the 15. Kevin Ross, a former teammate who had 30 interceptions in his career for Kansas City, made that particular stop. A 20-yard gain. Offensively for the Chiefs, we talked about Marcus Allen at 34. He seems to just be getting younger and younger. Anders has the most catches on the team with 12. This is an offensive line that was held intact. A very good offensive line. John Alt has started every game for the last 5 years. Marcus Allen on a cut against the grain inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
You know, look at the Chiefs' opening drives the first two games this year. And there's a real throwback brawl, I guess. But they've you know, with Montana, they've always been a fast starting team. I mean, he's a great opening drive quarterback. You see what they did in the first two games, long drives. Now their defense set them up with a short field, so if they get the ball in the end zone, the time of possession will be tough. But they're a very, very good opening drive team.
Second and 7. Allen in motion, looking for the far side. Catch by J.J. Payton. He breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Gary, we said one of the keys to this ball game was tackling by the Falcons. I mean, Joe Montana is a chef, and he'll saute you with those short little passes, and you have to be able to tackle those receivers. Otherwise, they're going to make mistakes. Burden's at the top of the screen, number 88. They're going to make you miss, and it's going to result in a touchdown. I mean, that should have only been an 8-yard gain. Instead, the Chiefs are up 6-0.
Point after attempt now by Lynn Elliott, out of the hold of Louis Aguiar, as he makes it 7-0. So they capitalize on the turnover. 4 plays, 28 yards.
Get your hands up. Sometimes you can tip the ball, because if you don't, the Chiefs are going to burn you like this. 7-0.
Joe Montana with his 5th touchdown toss of the year. 7-0 Kansas City. Tony Smith on the return. And tripped up, but a flag comes flying as he comes across the 25 to the 26. Steve Minuski up to make the stop. But going back to that last drive, it was very typical of a Montana drive.
Yeah, this is a perfect throw. This is the pass that set up the touchdown to Willie Davis, who was 2nd and 18 at the time for 20 yards. And, you know, in between 3 defenders, he throws the ball so accurately, Gary, he really essentially catches the ball for you. I mean, if you just get your hands up, you're going to catch it.
Holding, number 27, during the run back. First down.
Well, I like Johnny Greer's new outfit. The 70. He looks like a little like Payne Stewart with the hat, doesn't he?
I wonder if he plays golf as well. That's kind of vintage 50s.
Yeah, the bow tie.
Yeah, the bow tie.
And, you know, they actually used to wear those bow ties, officials, back in, I guess it was back in the 40s.
Well before your time, sure. So after the penalty, the line of scrimmage now will be the 15. Sanders in motion. George hits Terrence Mathis, and Mathis, the former New York Jet, has a first down as he comes across the 25 to the 26 and 11-yard pickup. You wondered, Pat, how Jeff George might respond after throwing that interception in the previous series.
In a run-and-shoot offense, Gary, sometimes you're going to roll away from an on-rushing defender and get rid of the ball. You're not going to block him, but you get rid of the ball before he gets there. So you can double up over on Derek Thomas's side, leave Neil Smith free, roll away from him, and still get rid of the ball quickly.
Mathis' 15th catch of the year. He came in here tied for third for leadership in the NFL. George being flushed out, gets rid of it. He completes it to Mathis. Mathis in a foot race to the near side is tackled. He is just short of the first down. Derek Thomas from the backside was after George. He felt it, and he put the ball on a line to get it to Terrence Mathis and get the completion.
This is one of the battles we want to watch. Bob Whitfield's number 70 for the Falcons. That's against Neil Smith. I mean, he's going to be pass protecting on virtually every play tonight. He just does his job. On the other side, Derek Thomas came free because that time they were blocking Neil Smith, and they let Derek Thomas come clean from the backside.
Whitfield, a former first-round draft pick out of Stanford. It's just short of the first down. It's second down and a half yard to go. In motion. Pegram trying to get the first down, and it's not going to be easy as he slams up the middle. Neil Smith, number 90, one of theirs to stop Pegram on the play.
Pegram, I think, is one of the keys for Jeff George tonight. Jeff was saying to us this week that if we can get him into the flow early and get some success, boy, it makes it a lot easier on me. And it slows down Derek Thomas and Neil Smith on the outside.
They're going to have to measure and see if he did get the first down. One thing that's good about this offense, you've talked about this so often, Pat, it's known for its passing, but boy, does it set guys up like Pegram. There's a lot of space to run in.
A lot of space, 6-7 defensive backs. The Falcons take big line splits. It is a good running formation.
Well, as you can see, they did not get the first down. It's going to go to a third down and inches. June Jones, it's an old cliche, but it's true. He is a player's coach. He's really brought some normalcy back to this situation. The players seem to be very positive about the role this team has, and they have a chance, Pat, to be one of the surprise teams.
I think so. I think this could be a playoff team. Offensively, they're going to be good now.
Third and inches. Jeff George is split to the near side on this play. That means that Bert Emanuel, who was a quarterback in college, and Rice, number 87, was lined up underneath center, and he got the sneak in the first down.
Well, they did this, was it last week? They did it last week. Bert Emanuel actually took a snap and he threw an interception. But here's Jeff George right down here. And they're going bump and run, as you can see, because they do respect his speed. But here's Bert Emanuel, who's normally a wide receiver. He just sneaks it. Actually, Jeff George got double coverage on that one. Did you see that?
Yeah, a lot of respect for his wide receiver ability. They get the first down. Mathis in motion. Thomas coming off the corner, putting some heat on. George is going to run and slides a couple of yards short of the first down. Again, it was Derek Thomas coming off the corner. You're so aware of number 58. George Jamison coming up then and being sure that Jeff George didn't continue further. The Giants are 3-0, and I'll tell you, that team under the direction of Dave Brown, the rookie, the Vikings with 42 points today. Their offense is back. 3 field goals by Morton Anderson. And the 49ers with that beat-up offensive line. And where is the offense for Buddy Ryan? Second and 2. Pegram breaks the first tackle, and he gets a first down. That's the good running back, Pat, that makes the first guy miss. And there was a good example of it.
Yeah, the other thing, though, is, too, when you're Derek Thomas, everything looks like pass. I think he was coming up field, and he was charging the quarterback, Jeff George, so fast, Pegram, just ran right by him.
The Bills didn't have a lot of offense, but they picked up the win. Steelers early really giving up the big plays. They came storming back, and the Patriots continue to have a lot of offense. You know that Drew Bledsoe has over 1,100 yards passing through 3 games?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
I did know that, yes.
Well, I just checked. It's a rhetorical question.
Those are the easiest kind of answers.
First down for the 49. Here's Pigram again. And Pigram close to 5 yards.
And that's their goal. Mouse Davis, the offensive coordinator, said we want 5 yards a run. I mean, and they should get it again with the way they spread people out and with the wide receivers they have, Andre Rison, and now they got Ricky Sanders and Terrence Mathis, averaging 4 yards a carry tonight.
So Pigram, a really busy guy. In the first game this year, he carried the ball 23 times. Second down, 6 yards to go. Pigram again makes the first down hit to the 40, 35, and tackled inside the 35 for first down. And again, this guy is a talent. He was 4th in the NFL in rushing a year ago, and he has that same standing after 2 weeks this year. That's a 12-yard pickup on the play.
Yeah, you know, one of the ways to slow down a big pass rush is to trap, and that's what you're going to see here by the Falcons. I mean, you get some things going, you throw the ball, you want to slow Derek Thomas and Neil Smith down, you run some draws, you run some traps, you throw some screens, and then you come back and get the ball to Andre Rison. That's a good call there.
This is a good drive for Atlanta after suffering the interception on the previous series. Pressure coming, gets it off to Pigram, and he's going to be tackled by Dan Saliamua. There is a flag on the play. Again, Pat, to back up what you said, when you got a lot of pressure coming, screens work, but a good play by Saliamua.
Screens, draws, traps. Yeah, Marty didn't like that.
I think it's roughing the passer is going to be the call on this play.
I like these hats.
I've seen you wear one of those on the golf course.
They're kind of nice.
That's why you like it. You stick around, it'll come in fashion.
Personal foul.
That was 40 years ago.
Roughing the passer. Number 58, defense. First down.
Another big matchup is Derek Thomas against Mike Ken. Mike Ken's number 78 for the Falcons. The right of the screen pushes him away. I don't know. I mean, they're calling all the close ones for the quarterbacks this year. I'm not so sure that was roughing, but
and coming from an ex-quarterback, that's quite amazing. Well, you would think that that might be skeptically done.
A lot easier up here now. Hey, you know, you said this is kind of interesting to see how Jeff George is going to respond to the interception. Well, so far he's got this team moving. I mean, another first down. They're in scoring position right now.
And again, doing exactly what we watched on tape, distributing the ball, trying to negate some of the rush. It's an offense that's very hard to prepare for.
Yeah, what they've done well so far in this drive, though, Gary, is use Eric Pigram, running the ball and on a screen pass.
So the first down after the penalty sets it up at the 25 of Kansas City. The Chiefs lead it 7-0. George, that's a little wide receiver screen to Ricky Sanders, and Sanders didn't get a lot on the play. Pretty good reaction that time by Dale Carter, who had an interception earlier. So a little screen to Sanders.
Yeah, and I think Mark Collins, too. I mean, really, they're not forcing the ball tonight to Andre Rison. They're beginning to use a lot of these other guys, including Ricky Sanders. Now, if he can get a couple of blocks, try to leg whip him there, that's Mark Collins, you have a chance to make something happen, but a very good tackle there by Dale Carter. Dale Carter's made a nice interception, and that time he saved a big game.
11th play of the drive, 2nd and 8. Mathis goes in motion. George looking his way over the middle. Mathis near 6 points. Double coverage from Mark Collins and Charles Mincy on Terrence Mathis, who played for the New York Jets, coming over as a free agent.
Well, remember this Chief defense. Last week they did a great job on those San Francisco wide receivers. They did it with a rush, and this time you're going to see Derek Thomas at the top of the screen, right side, 58, and they did it with good deep coverage. Mincy, number 42, is there. Collins, number 25, is there. I mean, they're going to force you to be patient and throw the ball underneath them and run after the catch.
June Jones, a near miss. 3rd down and 8, and they're going to have to use another timeout. So Atlanta has used their second, and that's what the grimace is all about. June Jones not wanting to use 2 timeouts here in this first quarter. 3:31 to go in quarter number 1. 7-0, Kansas City. 7-0, but right now Atlanta with a big 3rd down and 8 coming up, and Atlanta's been very efficient. They are leading the NFL in 3rd down conversions, 64% coming into this game tonight.
And you see the Chief defense, as good as they've been playing defense and creating turnovers, the 3rd down defense is a big worry.
Tonight they're 1 of 2 on 3rd down. On a 3rd and 8, George setting up deep. He's hit from behind. The ball comes loose. And the Chiefs feel they have it. It was Derek Thomas looping around from the backside. And it's Thomas that comes out of the pile with the ball.
He features the blind side strip. 2 turnovers in the first quarter. That's been the difference so far.
Marty Schottenheimer's defense, very opportunistic.
Let's go back to the sack of Derek Thomas in the blind side strip. He's going to beat Mike Ken deep. And then he's never satisfied with just getting to the quarterback. He wants to make something happen when he gets there. I mean, he has 2 speeds. He has the speed to beat the corner, the tackle, and then he has that closing speed on the quarterback, and then he knocks it away.
That's his 70th career sack. First down at the 30. Over the middle to keep guys to tight end. He's got a first down. He's hit hard as he was tackled by former teammate Kevin Ross. That's an 11-yard pickup on the play.
You know, Gary, I really believe that the largest determining factor in the NFL is turnovers. And they've seen 2 of them tonight. But watch 32. We talk about him, all the things that he can do. The block there. I mean, it's the subtle thing. It's easy to see him when he's running and easy to see him when he's catching the ball. But it's blocks like that that set Montana up.
First down, Montana, play action. Near side, the catch is made by J.J. Burton. He's knocked out of bounds. That'll be another first down, just short of the 35. You mentioned turnovers, Pat. In the first 2 games, Atlanta suffered only 2. They've already committed 2 tonight.
Well, you know, Kansas City now, after today's game, is the only team in the NFL that has not turned the ball over offensively. Everybody else has. And they've gotten 10 on defense. Started with great protection. Now, we said about Joe Montana, he has always used all his weapons, and he's thrown it around again tonight to a lot of different people.
4 of 4 for 66 yards. Marcus Allen inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
You know, it's just so, the NFL defenses are so tough, it's hard to be methodical. And unless you can turn the ball over, I think it's hard to win consistently.
Since 1990, look at this. The Chiefs, the very best, and that's up to the moment. Look at that, plus 75. I mean, there's not even anybody in their neighborhood right now.
That is huge.
2nd and 7. Allen in trouble, tried to spin out of it. Lester Archambault was there. Ron George, number 50, Archambault, they use on run plays and bring him out on the nickel. And he made excellent penetration on that one.
Yeah, and that's what the Falcons need defensively right now. They need a lift. They need a negative play. I mean, it's Archambault, it's Ron George there creating the penetration, but they need to do something as the Kansas City defense has done.
A sold-out Georgia Dome, over 71,000 here tonight.
You know, people still rearrange their Sundays to watch Joe Montana, don't they?
Yep, we did.
Yeah.
3rd down and 9. And Kevin Ross going high on a ball intended on the near side for rookie Lake Dawson.
Boy, that's what you call closing speed. Now, that ball was in the air for a while, but Kevin Ross got a great jump on it. He comes really from a linebacker spot. He is number 36 for the Falcons. Kind of playing that outside zone. Sees the ball is thrown. He turns and closes and knocks one away. That's good defense.
Kevin Ross, this has got to be very important to him. He played so many years, 10 years with Kansas City. Louis Aguiar comes in and to punt the football. He was brilliant last week. 2 punts inside the 20. In fact, inside the 6 twice. And he's done it again. Dale Carter down to field it. And this is beginning to become monotonous if you're an opponent for Louis Aguiar. That's a 30-yard punt. Beautifully pooched.
Yeah, that beautifully pooched. That's past tense. That's past tense. I like that. But, you know, Not too often that punters get to cheer and wear real face masks like Aguiar is. He's got the real face mask. But, I mean, special teams. We talked about special teams all year. Kurt Schottenheimer's a special teams coach for the Chiefs. And that was a perfectly designed pooch punt, and he had the coverage down there. I mean, Dale Carter was there, you know, a second before the punt got there.
He was the punter the last 3 years for the New York Jets. 1 year in the World League in Barcelona. One time he won a car in a kicking contest in San Francisco.
It's frustrating turning the ball over twice. Now you have to go 95 yards.
Mathis in motion. George setting up in the end zone. Comes out with a rifle shot and completes it. And they get some breathing room on that particular play. It was Mathis again. What's happening in this game right now is Rison not seeing so much activity. He's been looking to Mathis, his running backs, distributing the ball elsewhere.
You know, this could be frustrating for a defensive lineman because the quarterback gets rid of the ball so quickly. He rolls to one side, 3 steps, the ball is gone, and then you have a first down. Yeah, Andre Rison, you're right. Andre Rison has not caught a pass tonight.
And coming into the game, he had 26 catches, leading the NFL. He's on a pace to catch 208 this year. George to Mathis again. Dale Carter can't bring him down and eventually stumbles forward across the 25 to the 27-yard line, a couple of yards short of the first down.
Hey, Dale Carter's having a heck of a start to this football game, Gary. You know, the interception, he's kind of manned up there on Andre Rison, has been so far. I mean, he downed the punt, and he's made a couple of nice tackles.
And we have now come to the end of this first quarter as Jeff George still not going to his favorite receiver, Rison. This time it's Mathis, as we'll be back with quarter number 2.
Well, we're talking about what's going on with Andre Rison right here. He is matched up with Dale Carter. This time, he's just really kind of clearing out a zone. This is Mathis here, and Carter's going to take him and then fall back and make the tackle. So far, Andre Rison has really been clearing out zones for Terrence Mathis, but Dale Carter's had an awfully good ball game tackling, intercepting the ball, and on special teams. But if they're going to win the ball game, they're going to have to get the ball to Andre Rison.
Look at those numbers. He has 394 catches in his 5 years in the league. That's the most ever in the history of the NFL. Second down now, 2, as we come back, start the second quarter. Sprint draw, handoff to Pegram. Pegram with the first down. Brings it out to the 33. Greg Cregan, the former Denver Bronco, made a stop. There is a penalty flag, however, at the line of scrimmage. It's offside against the defense, the Chiefs. Marty Schottenheimer talked about how emotional last week's win was in Arrowhead Stadium. But he has a rule. He says by noon on Monday, you put that game behind you and move ahead to the next week.
34, defense. You line up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined.
Talk about the Falcons running game. Look at see how the splits here. I mean, they're creating natural holes here for running backs to run in. And remember, there's 5 defensive backs in the game. Not as many run stoppers in the game. So it should be and is a pretty good running formation.
So they refuse a penalty, have the first down run by Pegram. Pegram again. Good support. He fumbles the ball. It's come loose. The Chiefs have it as they bring it forward, and guess who got it again? Derek Thomas. He seemingly is everywhere on this football field.
Yeah, he rushes the passer, he sacks the passer, he strips the ball carrier, and then he hustles downfield. I mean, he and Neil Smith, even when the ball's thrown downfield, they're running around. I mean, this is incredible. 3 turnovers here in the first half. We just started the second quarter. Thomas fights off a block. It's Jaime Fields, number 59, I think, who caused a fumble. And again, Thomas is in the right place.
Thomas in that big game last week. We had 3 sacks, 1 for a safety, a sack, 2 fumble recoveries tonight. Montana setting up, complete to Marcus Allen, and Allen will be tackled out of bounds, short of the 15-yard line. Roger Harper, who plays that star position, which is in effect a strong safety for Atlanta, was over to make the tackle.
You know, the amazing thing about Montana is we talked about his accuracy, but the way he can find guys who are open. And we were talking to Marcus Allen. He said, hey, if you just get open, Montana will find you. You know, the big catch at the end of the game last week against San Francisco. Marcus Allen was really the fourth option for Montana, but still got him the ball.
And they want him in there in critical situations. 2nd down and 6. This is Kimball Anders, a very versatile fullback, and Anders very close to the first down. He needed to get to the 10.5-yard line. Just a moment ago, that play by Marcus Allen moved him over 14,000 yards combined. 9th player in history to go over that standard. And they say the way he's playing, he looks like he's 24 instead of 34.
Yeah, you know, wonder he was in Al Davis's doghouse for 4 years. What he was for, I don't know, because he can still play. But
yes, he can.
But if he had really contributed those 4 years, you wonder what his numbers would have looked like.
He got out of the doghouse, and he has resurrected his career in Kansas City. And the indication is that they got the first down. We understand that Pierce Holt has been injured. This guy plays until his tank is empty. In fact, he was telling us a lot of times he plays so hard he gets dehydrated and he loses his voice.
Yeah, can't even talk after the game. Reporters just stay away from him.
So it is a first down at the 11-yard line.
If Falcon defense really, again, has to make something here, at least put some pressure on Montana. Get in his face.
Out of the motion, hand off to Anders again. And Anders, as a flag is thrown, goes to the 8-yard line for the penalty flag again. Anders has become a very complete player, good receiver, excellent blocker. And this one's coming back. It's holding against Kansas City.
You know, Gary, I know Marty Schottenheimer's upset about the penalty, but their offense, we talked about confidence at the beginning of the broadcast. They look confident.
79, offense. Still first down.
They're playing with confidence, but, you know, they're running the football, power running the football a lot better than they did a year ago. I mean, that Marcus Allen being here for 2 years, you know, you draft Greg Hill and Donnell Bennett, and they're running the ball better.
Well, they got the Final Four last year, Pat. Only 2 guys knew the offense. That was Montana and Paul Hackett. Pass to Greg Hill, the rookie from Texas A&M, and Hill is clotheslined as he's knocked out at the 7. There's another penalty flag. Kevin Ross came over, and now we have a fight going on and another flag thrown out of the field of play.
Now it looks like a throwback game, doesn't it?
Greg Hill, the exciting rookie, their first-round draft pick.
But, again, the accuracy of Montana, Hill did not have to adjust for that ball at all. You know, he picked up a good block, I think it was, from Kimball Anders, and then a wide receiver. But he caught the ball on a full sprint because he didn't have to adjust. These guys are setting their tee time for next Saturday.
They better find an inside source. It's taken them a long time to get those tee times ready. So we have flags everywhere. We have one off the field of play, one near the line of scrimmage. And Johnny Greer is going to explain it all.
We have multiple fouls on the offense. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 80 is declined. Holding number 38 will be accepted.
Oh. Well, that was Lake Dawson, number 80, and Kimball Anders, number 38.
Here was the catch, but watch, he's in full speed, catches the ball. There's at the top of the screen, number 38 was the penalty there. Personal foul comes late. Now, Kevin Ross, they didn't call a penalty on Ross. They should have, though. You cannot go for the head. They did not call a penalty on Kevin Ross. They called a personal foul on Lake Dawson of the Chiefs. But that should have been a foul.
Lake Dawson, the rookie out of Notre Dame, and Marty's having explained a little more in detail. By the way, that's the 3rd holding call tonight against Kansas City.
Marty looks like he just got his car stolen.
One thing that this guy does is he has patience with his young players. He really develops young talent very well. Next Sunday, we'll be in the Meadowlands. The Jets, Pete Carroll, the new coach of the New York Jets, a team that won their first 2 ball games. Boomer Esiason, and Dave Wanstead, Chicago Bears. The Bears will be in the Meadowlands, and we'll be there. It all begins at 7:30 with the Silver Bullet Stadium show. understand the injury to Pierce Holt is a right shoulder that he's been having some problems with, but we expect him back.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot to keep Pierce Holt out of a football game. I mean, that is one determined player.
Now it's first to the bunch. First and 30, back at the 31. And broken up in the air, a jump ball incomplete. That ball was batted way up in the air.
And I think it was Keith Cash who almost caught it. Archambault tipped it, and then Keith Cash made a great play to knock it away. I mean, to the eyes of Joe Montana, he has a feel for people, but you can't get fooled by him if you're a defensive back, because he'll look you off. Sometimes you get your hands up, good things happen. It was tipped. Can't rush him sometimes, get those paws up. But I say Keith Cash made a great play to save an interception.
That was Archambault. There's a delayed handoff to Marcus Allen. That did not fool Atlanta. This crowd now reacting. Allen got a yard, and that's all. And they still need 29 yards to go for first down. Gathers was in there. Jumpy Gathers. Number 97 who made the stop.
Yeah, you just want to finish up the point, though. Here, this game so far has been a game of turnovers. The Falcons have turned it over, and the Chiefs had an opportunity there. But it was a great play by Keith Cash, the tight end, to keep the ball alive, to make sure a Falcon didn't catch it. Great play by him.
3rd and 29. Montana, and that ball's incomplete, and 3 or 4 people had a shot at it. J.J. Burton deep in the end zone, but Willie Davis at about the 3 looked like the intended target. Incomplete, and Atlanta is able to hold defensively. 4th down.
And that's a big defensive series for the Atlanta Falcons.
Lynn Elliott will come in. You can see his long 40-year 27. This will be his longest attempt from 47 yards away. The former Dallas Cowboy, who was cut last year and has come back and done a very creditable job for the Chiefs. Out of the hole of Aguiar. The kick is on the way, and it is good. And Kansas City has extended their lead 10-0. That's got to be a confidence builder for Lynn Elliott, replacing Nick Lowry, who for 14 years was the kicker for Kansas City.
We said it was a big defensive series for the Falcons, and they're very much still in this ball game. Well, this so far has been a game of turnovers, and the Chief defense has caused 3 of them. First, early in the first quarter, it was an interception, a great interception by Dale Carter on a ball thrown to Andre Rison. And then it was a strip on a sack by Derek Thomas. In the third one, Thomas recovered. So that has been the difference of the ball game.
They've had 7 takeaways in the last 4 quarters. The kickoff coming to Tony Smith. About it, trailing now 10-0, and Smith is tackled at the 17-yard line. Interestingly enough, Pat, in the first 2 games, the Chiefs scored only 14 points off of those 8 turnovers. Tonight, they picked up 10.
All 10.
So we have 11:23 to go in this first half. Jeff George and the Falcons trailing 10-0. With Pat Haden, I'm Gary Bender. We have 11:23 to go in the first half. The Chiefs with 3 turnovers leading to 10 points, and now this is the 3rd of 4 drives starting inside the 20-yard line for Atlanta. And the GMC truck leaderboard, all-time passing leaders, and Montana's right up there, and he's ahead of everybody in NFL titles.
Yeah, that's right. That's a pretty good list. If I didn't have all those 35,000 yards called back on penalties, I would have been up there.
Yeah, the negative yardage really hurts. Here is George going deep, and he overthrows Rison. And Rison's still looking for that first catch. Dale Carter defending on the play.
Yeah, Dale Carter, we've talked about the kind of game he's had. He's covered him short. That time he covered him long. The penalty against the Falcons. Dale Carter's tackled guys, wide receivers after the catch. He's played well on special teams. He's done almost everything so far tonight.
One thing he's done, he's become a good listener. He's listening to guys like Mark Collins and William White in the defensive secondary. He's got a world of talent. Yeah, and now if he starts listening along with that, he could be deadly.
Illegal formation, number 78, offense. He didn't line up on the line of scrimmage. Still first down.
Boy, with this new rule, that's pretty hard to have happen to you.
Well, it also shows you the effect that Derek Thomas can have on an offensive tackle, Gary. I mean, when you're worried about a guy coming around and hitting your quarterback and causing fumbles as he has so far, you are going to light up off the line of scrimmage.
Field of position not good for this Atlanta team, and they back up after the penalty. Here's Haden running straight ahead, and he's out to the 22-yard line. He got a lot of that back. David Whitmore making the stop. 10-yard pickup on the play.
You know, every play in the run and shoot it starts out looking like a pass. So if you're Derek Thomas, you're thinking upfield. So you don't have to out-physical Derek Thomas sometimes. You can just push him right back by the running play. And again, a good way to slow him down is to run the ball well.
And he loves this artificial surface. He thinks he's faster, even though he had 3 sacks on natural grass last week. 2nd and 5, delayed of Ingram. First man misses, second man misses, but he didn't get much. He got maybe to the 25-yard line. He'll be 3 yards short of the first down.
You know, Gary, we've talked a little bit about the Falcons being a legitimate team. They trail here by 10 points. But, you know, they could have been blown out already. I mean, they hung in there. They had 3 turnovers, and they've been converted into 10 points, but they're still hanging in there. But this is an important drive for them. I mean, they need a confidence builder. June Jones needs something to happen good to his offense.
3rd down and 2 yards to go. As we said, coming in here, they led the NFL on 3rd down conversions. Near side, can't hang on. Trying to come up with was Ricky Sanders, who's been trying to digest this run and shoot after playing for 8 years with the Washington Redskins.
Well, and once again, Dale Carter had Andre Rison. And, you know, it didn't even look to his side. And Dale Carter is doing a job tonight.
Harold Alexander will come in and punt the football. He's averaging almost 46 yards a punt, and that is 2nd in the NFC, 4th in the NFL. And now going back deep will be Dana Hughes. Alexander, oh, he got into this one. Hughes coming back to the 23-yard line. He had a 55-yard return last week and brings it out to the 38. So Kansas City with a 10-0 lead will set up after that 52-yard punt and 15-yard return. Kansas City making their first trip to Atlanta since 1972. Obviously their first appearance in the Georgia Dome with a 10-0 lead. They have precipitated 3 turnovers in this ball game and now set up at their own 38-yard line. And Greg Hill now has come in replacing Marcus Allen and running back. Marty Schottenheimer wants to get Hill in there as much as he can. He wants to keep some of the wear and tear off of Marcus Allen. Atlanta's got it. That was Willie Davis on the catch and fumble, and he was belted. I mean, really hit by Vinnie Clark, and the Falcons have their first turnover.
Yeah, the Falcon defense has played pretty well tonight, Gary, and that's the first turnover by the Chief offense this year. But this is what Montana's going to do. We talk about him and how he likes to saute you, throw those short routes. And remember at the beginning of the show, we said to tackle after the catch. And Vinnie Clark just absolutely tattooed Willie Davis. And it's no surprise he fumbles this ball. And there's some hustling red jerseys over there to make a recovery.
That's Ron George, number 50, I believe, that eventually comes up with a fumble recovery.
And now they need to turn this into some points. And they should be fired up because they played well.
Their first giveaway of the season for Kansas City. They come out quickly, complete to Mathis. Mathis continues to be the prime receiver for Jeff George, run out of bounds by Dale Carter.
You know, everybody talks about Jeff George's quick release. I mean, that is a perfect example of it. And, you know, what a quick release really lets you do, it avoids sacks, and there's less reaction time for defensive backs. I mean, it can be frustrating rushing him because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. And if you're a defensive back, you don't have time to close the cushion because the ball gets there quickly.
Mathis now has 5 catches for 48 yards. He's in motion. George, and at the feet of Ricky Sanders, incomplete. Let's go down to the sideline. Here's Kevin Kyler.
Gary and Pat, you just made an observation about reaction time and quick release. One of the things that's very noticeable down here is the arm strength of Jeff George compared to Joe Montana. When George throws the ball, it gets there right now. The receivers really don't have a chance to adjust to the route. When Montana throws it, well, it's something less than that. And on that last play where the receiver was hit for a fumble, that ball was in the air a while. It allowed the defender to make an adjustment and come up with a big hit.
What was it? June Jones said that Jeff George can't leap over tall buildings, but he can certainly throw the ball over tall buildings. 3rd down and 5. George again, and Burt Emanuel, the intended receiver, and very good coverage that time. That was Darren Anderson, a man they picked up before the final preseason game in a trade from Tampa Bay.
Well, Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator, was looking for a 4th defensive back, 4th corner, and number 44, Darren Anderson, is the guy. Now, this is supposed to be what they call a fade stop. He runs upfield and then just stops and comes back to the ball. One was picked off by Dale Carter. The other one, Darren Anderson, just does a great job of knocking it away.
And Norm Johnson, who has a long of 48 yards this season, will attempt a 50-yarder. His career long is 54. 50-yard attempt. Neil Smith, and he's got the longest arms of anybody in the NFL, and he used him in a good stead there.
Remember last year he blocked 2 field goals against the San Diego Chargers in one game to win it. I mean, he comes right up the middle. I want to tell you, the Kansas City special teams tonight, Gary, have been fantastic. Punt coverage, returns, and now a block. Number 90 gets his big left paw in there, all 6-4 of them, and thwart another Atlanta attempt.
Special teams coach Kurt Schottenheimer loves it when they're able to block something. That's Neil Smith's 3rd of his career. And there's Schottenheimer, and looking at it on the Polaroids to see if what he thought was going to happen, it did.
It's got to look good on the Polaroids because it looked good live.
In black and white or color. First down from the 40, Montana. Going deep, Davis is wide open. And then great recovery that time by D.J. Johnson. He was beaten and somehow was able to recover and bat it away.
You know, Gary, we expected a high-scoring offensive showdown, and I think we're seeing more of a defensive game than we anticipated. And we've seen some really good defensive back play by Carter for the Chiefs, and here by D.J. Johnson. Now, he had Willie Davis open. The ball was thrown a little bit late as he slowed down, and that gave the defensive back Johnson a chance to knock it away and no interference. Good play.
D.J. had 2 interceptions last week. And off to Greg Hill. Hill going to be tackled at the 42, and here comes the flag all the way across the field. Kevin Ross coming up and making the stop. Ross making a lot of tackles in this ball game. And we're going to get the preliminary signal. It's holding against Kansas City. Is that 4 holds? I think that's the 4th hold of the night now against Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs.
Yeah, well, Keith Cash has not figured too much in the passing game tonight, Gary, but very much in the run game. He's number 89. He's their tight end, this time in motion.
89, offense.
Yeah, he's the one who get called in the hole. Just kind of tackled Harper. But they think he is really developing into the type of tight end where they're going to call his number and he'll be, you know, the primary receiver.
His twin brother Kerry, a tight end for the Colts. He said he's 4 minutes older than Kerry.
Much more than 4.
Yes. Play action fake by Montana, and he gets rid of it to Cash. The man we're talking about, and Keith Cash, who really responded in the playoffs last year, had 18 catches in the playoffs, has a 17-yard gain. They're still short of the first down. Darnell Walker and Scott Case combined on the tackle.
You know, Joe Montana is just so graceful. And again, maybe he's not as fast as he once was, but he still can move up in the pocket, buy a little time here, find a guy. Cash just kind of picks off the umpire there. I mean, if you get open, Joe Montana will find you no matter whether you're the 1st or the 5th choice.
3rd and 3, and they've got about 9 men on the line of scrimmage, and we have flags everywhere. They came up, they were in the face of Montana, and a lot of people moving before the snap of the ball.
Those bow ties, are those clip-ons, or do they actually have to do those, tie those?
Do you know how to tie one?
I don't.
It's a real skill.
Do you?
I guess our director, Lonnie Dale, knows how. We'll go down after the game, and he can explain it all to us.
Can't tie his shoes, but he's very good with a bow tie.
False start on the right tackle. Still third down.
Well, it was 3rd and 3, but now they're going to back up. That's a Danny Villa, number 72.
You know, Marty Schottenheimer, we were talking to him this week, was saying, hey, even though we had the big win over San Francisco, he said, we did not play well offensively. He said, you know, first week we played well offensively. Last week we played well defensively, but we haven't put it together yet. Tonight, they're playing great on special teams.
3rd down and 8. Anders, and now Marcus Allen is back in. Montana, and that's out of bounds, incomplete. The intended receiver on the near side was J.J. Burton, so they'll have to punt it away. So Atlanta getting pretty good play right now defensively from this Falcon team. They just need to get something going on offense.
This is an absolute timing route by J.J. Burton. And Montana looked away. See, he looks inside, and then he's going to turn out. He did not fool D.J. Johnson on a timing route. I mean, we have seen some very good pass coverage here in the first half.
Aguiar to punt away. Tony Smith is back for Atlanta. He's going to make the fair catch. And does, and we have a flag. A collision occurred about 7 yards in front of Tony Smith. That was a 43-yard punt that time by Aguiar. Thing about Tony Smith, he weighs 212 pounds. He may be the biggest return man in the NFL. And they still don't have those tee times straightened out.
You're right. Kirk Schottenheimer was saying about Smith, hey, he is awfully hard to tackle.
Illegal block. While the ball is in the air, that's a post-possession foul. We'll go 10 yards from the spot of the catch. First down.
So again, Atlanta will have bad field position. And here is tonight's Pennzoil scoreboard. The Giants 3-0 and make it again with another strong game. The Packers, did you see the end of that game?
Yeah,
they
strange.
could not get it in. Great goal line stand by the Eagles. Looks like Warren Moon has gotten it together now.
Yeah, boy.
Struggled in the first game. Second game had 10 points. The Saints had 3 field goals. They won their first ball game of the year. 49ers beating up on the Rams. Steve Young playing with that beat-up offensive line still got the job done. Pegram is a running back. They'll start the series from the 8. Pegram gets out across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Neil Smith made the stop there. Let's look at some more of the Pennzoil score. Pegram gets out across the 10 to the 13-yard line. Neil Smith made the stop there. Let's look at some more of the Pennzoil scoreboard as we are in this 3rd week of the season. The Browns, I tell you, Buddy Ryan, his buddy ball's not going. And the Bills, Bruce Smith with another strong performance.
How about the Steelers uniform today? A lot of throwback uniforms. Now I know why they changed some of those uniforms.
How about the Packers? Did you see the Packers?
Oh, man, there's some of those ugly.
One thing about this game tonight, these two teams look very familiar. As Chiefs wearing their uniforms are worn 66 the year they lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl. There's a quick slant to Terrence Mathis, and he's got the first down. So they dig themselves out of a hole after that penalty. That's an 11-yard pickup on the play, and it continues to be Mathis and George. And conspicuous by his absence has been Andre Rison. That's 6 catches now for Mathis.
See, there's so many open spaces around here. And here's the one he just chooses. Audibles and hit this spot right here. Talk about Jeff George to Mathis. I mean, they spread people all 53 yards of the field. And then just look for that open little receiver in that open space. And, you know, they don't have a game plan each week. It's the same plays no matter what team they play.
George on first down, little half roll to screen to Pegram, running behind the offensive line, gets to the 31. And Tracy Rogers, number 52, over to make the tackle for the Chiefs.
You know, even though Derek Thomas didn't make this play, you always have to be aware of him chasing. Because when he's chasing, that's when he causes most of the turnovers.
And Mike Kinn in his 17th year, he's seen a lot of them through the years. They say he never gets rattled, and you could get rattled pretty easy trying to block number 58. Second down and 3. George, sideline, broken up beautifully. Dale Carter has just been sensational. What an athlete this guy is.
You know, you're right. You see 25, Mark Collins come over there and congratulate him. Mark Collins has been a great influence on him, as William White is. Top of the screen. Now, they're saying we've got to get Andre Rison involved in this game. And so they're going to give him a chance. But Dale Carter has had him one-on-one, and he covered him like a cat on Velcro. There was not a lot of room there to throw that ball.
That ball was there. It would have been completed had this guy not come up with the play. Third down and 3. Two-count, but Rison, did he get it? No, he was out of bounds. They almost had their first connection of the night. Rison's upset. He thought he was in. The official said he was not. Fourth down. A frustrated Andre Rison.
Well, you know, you get covered by Dale Carter as well as he is, and you will get frustrated.
Look at the numbers. 26 catches in the first 2 games. We said earlier, if he continued at that pace, he'd have 208 as the season ends.
Remember, these guys controlled Jerry Rice and John Taylor for the most part last week.
The punt by Alexander. Damon Hughes comes over inside the 25. Former Iowa standout was hemmed in. No place to go. Good coverage that time by the Falcons. Especially Jesse Tuggle. He's just a tackling machine. The linebacker who also plays on special teams.
One of the good special teams players is number 46 for the Falcons, Charles Washington. Now, he's not going to make the play here, but he's going to set it up. I mean, if you're hustling and you fight through a couple of blockers, as he did, he fought through 3 different guys. You stop him, you slow him down, you hold him up, and you get to help your teammates.
He played 2 years with Kansas City, blocked a couple of punts while he was there. First down now for the 25. Montana throwing far side. J.J. Burton makes the catch. He has a first down.
A good blitz protection by the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, there was an inside blitz and some people in Joe Montana's face. He read it. They protected it. You know, the offensive linemen have to read that blitz as well. They did. They didn't drop back too far. They pick up the linebackers, and Montana's able to get it away. If the offensive line doesn't read it, there isn't enough room for the quarterback to step up.
Burton with 3 catches. He had 2 in the 2 previous games. Near side, Willie Davis adjusted very well on that ball, and he's very close to first down. That wasn't an easy catch. A spinning move, comes up with a grab. Ron George defending on the play, and Willie Davis, who's been a big play performer and is fast becoming Joe Montana's favorite receiver, catches one there for 9 yards on the play.
You know, you have to be tough to be a receiver in the NFL. Remember the shot he took a little bit earlier when he fumbled the ball? I mean, he just got absolutely drilled by Vinnie Clark. Hold up, back in the game and makes a nice adjustment for a catch.
Now they're going to get him the first down. He did get enough for the first down, and they mark it at the 47-yard line. Greg Hill now has come into the backfield. 10-0. Kansas City trying to go 3-0 before they return home next week against the Rams. And that ball, one hop to Lake Dawson, and Montana had people in his face that time. The pocket was collapsing, kind of throwing it off his back foot that time. Didn't have enough on it.
Well, again, the blitz coming up. He audible to a quick out to Lake Dawson. And I don't know if Lake Dawson ran the route two yards too deep, or he just couldn't get enough on it because of the rush.
They think this guy is going to be something special. Lake Dawson, 3rd-round draft pick out of Notre Dame.
He's one of the few guys I know who's caught a pass, both from Rick Meyer and from Joe Montana. 2 pretty good quarterbacks out of Notre Dame.
At time, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Ernie Johnson will have scores and highlights. Kevin Conley, Bob Neal, LT, all here at the Georgia Dome. As that is a completion to the man we were just talking about, Dawson. And you talk about concentration. He took a real shot again from Benny Clark and was able to hang on.
This is where Lake Dawson can help this Kansas City team as the year goes on and there's a drive to the playoffs. The physical catches in the crowd and maybe shake some people off later in the year. I mean, the ball was perfectly thrown again. I mean, away from the defender, he was able to shield him with his body. But he is, 6'1", 204 pounds, and is tough.
They need some size at wide receiver. Craig Hill, change of direction, trying to go wide. Ron George is there, and help coming from Kevin Ross.
Well, it's hard to run wide in the NFL. You can do that in college, but it is hard to run wide in the NFL when you have guys like Ron George to chase you down.
Ron George did not start last week. Alton Montgomery did, but he's out with a kidney injury. And George, out of Stanford, plays a position they call the Falcon position. It's a mix between a strong safety and a linebacker.
Ron George and these Falcons have played well, but there's 3 minutes left in this first half. Kansas City has all 3 timeouts. They need, again, to do their job. Keep out of the end zone.
Second down, virtually 10 yards to go. Montana. And Keith Cash comes up with it after wobbling it for a while. Kim Tippins is over there along with Ron George to make the stop. They're going to be 3 yards short of the first down.
Very nice rush there by Pierce Holt, number 95 for the Falcons. He used to be a teammate of Joe Montana's, and he was saying he is so frustrating to rush because even when you get close, or maybe even when you beat your man, he still gets rid of the ball so quickly you can't get there. I mean, he had beaten Will Shields easily. That's a frustrating thing for a defensive lineman.
Third down, 3 yards to go. He changes as Pierce Holt took himself out of the ball game. Montana slant and picked off. Got an interception by Benny Clark. And Clark is tackled. Clark has made 2 bone-crunching tackles and now comes up with an interception.
Good defense. This game has not been anything like we really expected. We expected a lot of points, a lot of big offensive plays. Instead, we've got some great defense in this ball game. Now, Benny Clark, number 27, realizes with the blitz it's going to be a quick throw. It has to be a quick throw because of the blitz by the Falcons. Okay, they had run 3 blitzes earlier. Montana had thrown 2 quick outs. Now this time he reads the slant pattern run by Willie Davis and then just drives on it. He becomes a receiver and just ate up that cushion and made a really good play.
And that is Joe Montana's first interception of the season. And at the 24, Atlanta hanging tough. Down 10-0. George going to be sacked. George Jamison eventually got there. A Salamua, though, they caused all the havoc early as everybody was in Jeff George's face. That will be the 2nd sack of the night for Kansas City.
And they'll take it down to the 2-minute warning.
And as you mentioned, Atlanta has only 1 timeout left. There's Benny Clark. What a performance by this former Ohio State Buckeye. With the interception, the first that Montana has suffered this season. Well, we've had 5 turnovers in this football game. The Chiefs leading at 10-0, and we'll reiterate something we said earlier, Pat. Atlanta hanging in there. They're staying close, even though they're down by 10 points. That's got to help their confidence.
Yeah, but now with 2 minutes left, they still, remember, they wasted those 2 timeouts in the first quarter. They have 1 left, but I think it's important for them at least to get a field goal attempt before the half ends.
Jeff George has hit only 3 of his last 8 passes. Now he connects to Mathis, and Terrence Mathis, his go-to guy tonight, gets it out to the 27-yard line. And that'll stop the clock with 1:55. Mathis 7 catches now, 68 yards. Well, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Remember, it's a 4 wideout set, but they have not had a completion to Andre Rison, and they've not had a completion to Bert Emanuel, one of the other starting wide receivers as well. So it's been all Ricky Sanders, but by primarily Terrence Mathis.
Rison again, and guess who's with him? Dale Carter. He is like a second skin as he stays on him all the way. He's going to have nightmares about number 34.
It is fun to watch because in today's, this is kind of a throwback game because the defense is controlling this thing. Top of the screen, number 34. I mean, everywhere Ryerson turns, he's got Dale Carter all over him. I mean, he's not interfering with him either. He had his hands on him. That was in that 5-yard zone.
Alexander to punt away. 1:50 left in this half. Kansas City will have the ball and 3 timeouts. A line drive affair. Dana Hughes going to get a return. There's a flag on the play as Hughes gets close to the 45-yard line. We have a man shaken up for Kansas City. That's a 39-yard punt, a 10-yard return, and William White, who for 5 years quarterbacked the Detroit Lions secondary, is shaken up right now. Preliminary signal, an eligible man down on this return.
Yeah, that's a guy who's been a big part of that defense and really helped Dale Carter.
William White and George Jamison, 2 free agent acquisitions from the Lions, who've really helped this Kansas City team.
Absolutely. Say, the Falcons have to be careful, though, here, Gary. This is where Joe Montana can kill you. You know, you got a tight ball game. You're up by 10 points. But there's a 1:40 remaining in the half, and everybody who watches football knows this is when Joe Montana is at his best. You got to watch out for the knockout punch in the last 2 minutes of each half.
Well, we're going to see another veteran quarterback next Sunday in the Meadowlands as the Jets will have Boomer Esiason, a left-hander, the southpaw, if you will. A team that's 2-1 under new coach Pete Carroll, and there's a future Hall of Famer, Ronnie Lott. He's always causing havoc. And this is a football team that's excited. The Jets losing today, but 2-1. They'll be playing host to the Chicago Bears, and we'll be there 8 o'clock Eastern Sunday. All beginning with a Silver Bullet Stadium show at 7:30. We hope you'll be with us. So we come back with a line of scrimmage at the 44. There's 1 minute 40 seconds left in this first half. The Chiefs with 3 timeouts remaining.
You know, I think one of the reasons Montana's so good at this point in the game, you know, 1:40 remaining or end of the game, is I don't think there's any doubt in his mind or any fear in his mind. I mean, most guys worry about things that they, you know, don't turn the ball over, don't do that. He always has positive thoughts going through his mind.
Now we have been told that Kansas City will be assessed a timeout because of an injury in the last 2 minutes, so they'll have 2 remaining. But Pat, to go back to your point, when you've had the success that Joe Montana's had, I think it'll be pretty hard not to be very confident. You think of the 4 Super Bowl titles and the fact he's been to 7 Pro Bowls, the MVP in the NFL. I mean, he's got some reason to be confident.
Right, but most guys have some self-doubt, even the successful ones. I just don't think Montana ever seems to feel it. And because he doesn't, I think the people around him are a lot more confident.
Boy, that's true. Through osmosis, if nothing else.
And they're paying attention to him, too.
Yes, sir. The master, the legend, if you will. So here we go. The Chiefs now with 2 timeouts left from the 44. Marcus Allen, and he gets out of bounds as he's tackled across the 50 to the 49. Roger Harper made the stop, and that'll stop the clock with 1:36 left in the first half.
It's always interesting to me in critical times in a game how these two seem to connect. And, you know, Marcus Allen at the end of last week's game was the key guy, both in the running game and the passing game, the final drive to seal it. And now we get in this situation, another critical situation. You find him going to Marcus Allen again.
Second down, a long 3. Montana complete to Willie Davis. He's got a first down inside the 40 to the 39. Did not get out of bounds. The clock continuing to run. That's a 10-yard gain. Kansas City, as Joe Montana can do, is moving the chains. Montana to the near side, and J.J. Burton goes out of bounds. How many times do you think Joe Montana has been in the 2-minute offense and has successfully gotten it into the end zone?
I tell you, a lot of quarterbacks fry you, but he sautés you. I mean, it's just, he'll just find a soft spot. He'll find the open guy. I mean, you can't double everybody, and he'll find the guy that has a single coverage.
So now it's a second down and 3 yards to go, a short 3. Clock showing 1:10 as they come up to the line of scrimmage at 32.
Right, and they're in field goal range right now, so he can't take a sack.
Be a 49-yarder if they were to kick it now. You saw him earlier recover and come back and bat one away, and he's got his 3rd interception of the season.
Boy, there has been some great corner play tonight. The ball gets thrown a little short to the wide receiver. It gives D.J. Johnson a chance to react and recover. And once again, he makes a great play. I mean, Dale Carter on one side and D.J. Johnson on the other.
Looks like a ballet movement there as both of them went airborne. That now evens up the turnovers. Both teams have committed 3. And D.J. Johnson, 5 years a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, this has been a great defensive game in this first half game. I expected something different, but it has been some really good defensive plays.
From the 20, they'll start it. Little shovel pass, incomplete. That would not be a fumble. It's considered a pass as he got it forward to Eric Pegram, and that'll stop the clock with 56 seconds. Again, Atlanta has 1 timeout remaining, trailing 10-0 in this football game. June Jones, who played for Mouse Davis at Portland State, was an assistant for so many years in the USFL when they were running that run and shoot. They call it the red gun offense right now. So he and Mouse Davis may be the last of the run and shoot guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good influence. June Jones is a very good influence on quarterbacks. Every quarterback with whom he has worked has gotten better.
2nd and 10. George finds some time. Neil Smith is after him, and when you know Neil Smith is after you, you just get your get up and go a little faster.
It's amazing what the human body can do when a larger human body is chasing it. I mean, you know, you kind of cruising around back there, gliding, and then you see old number 90, and you kind of pick it up, put it in 2nd gear.
It's not panic, but it's close.
That's as close to that's as close to fear as you can get too, believe me.
Well, they lose a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
You know, offensively though, this first half, the Falcons have not looked real sharp. They've not been able to get the ball to Rising. They've not been in rhythm.
And coming across is Darren Mickle, number 92. You know, the Falcons have not had good field position. On the other hand, Kansas City's had excellent field position. That's been big in this first half.
Offside, defense, number 92.
Roger Riley, our statistician, pointing out that Kansas City definitely getting the advantage. They have started their drives on their own 47-yard line average-wise.
That's what turnovers do for you. You play on the short field. It's hard to drive 80 yards, but if you can get some turnovers, you can get a lead like the Chiefs have right now at 10-0.
Penalty now makes it 3rd down and 6. George again, scrambling around. There's that rifle arm again, and that's a 1st down catch. And rolling up with his Ricky Sanders, a 32-year-old who averaged 52 catches a year when he played with the Redskins. See the time. Again, Atlanta with 1 timeout left. They'll kill the clock with 31, and there's a flag. I don't know if that line was set before he spiked the ball that time. Well, Pat, the question is, can June Jones go into the locker room, devise some way to get Andre Rison open?
Well, first of all, he's going to be happy with the way his defense is playing. To figure that, you know, you turn the ball over that many times, there's William White.
Yeah, he has a left ankle sprain. That's what we've been told up above. And downstairs, he's going to go into the locker room.
The tough thing for the Falcons, though, is that really it's just only been one defender that's taken Andre Rison away. Ordinarily, you'd say, hey, if they're doubling them, they're tripling them, that's great because we got these other guys wide open. But Dale Carter's done a heck of a job on them. But they still have a lot of other defensive backs to cover their 3 other wide receivers.
I tell you, Andre Rison's not used to this. I mean, this is a new chapter in his career. He's probably thinking to himself, this can't be happening to me.
You know, and again, if they're going to win in the second half, the other receivers are efficient wide receivers, but Andre Rison can break a game open.
90, the last time without a reception. And again, 26 catches coming in, and he's just been unstoppable in the first 2 weeks. We've still got another one of those discussions about what they're going to do tomorrow, I guess.
We have an illegal formation, number 80, offense. The formation was never legal. By rule, we're going to run 10 seconds off the game clock.
Okay.
Now, Rison's having one of those nights.
Yeah, that hurts you more than the penalty. I mean, more than the yardage. Now they need about 35 yards to give Norm Johnson a chance, Gary. You know, they have one timeout remaining in 21 seconds. So what they have not been able to do is to play a lot of pitch and catch downfield. They've thrown a lot of short passes, but none of the intermediate passes where a receiver can catch it and run after the catch. They're down in that 20-yard range.
Monty Groh has come in as they have 6 DBs in on this particular play. Groh looking, finding, searching, and completing it as the catch is made by Sanders again across the 35 to the 37. And Atlanta now will use their final timeout.
They've only averaged 7 yards per completion. Atlanta has. And that has been another big story this game. Andre Rison coming in, 26 catches, 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards in receptions. But they've kept the Chief defense kept everything in front of them and made it really, really tough to get those 15, 20-yard routes.
Pat, to follow up on your thought, and talking to Marty Schottenheimer, he said one advantage we have is we have played against Houston, against the Oilers, played them in the playoffs, played them last the year before in the regular season, and they have a theory on how to play the run and shoot. Well, that theory has been very effective here in the first half.
Well, like I say, what they're doing right now, Dale Carter, if you can have one guy take away a top receiver, you can do a lot. And Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator, and that's what's happened. Dale Carter's been largely responsible for the way they've been able to play the other 3 wide receivers.
Well, Carter has been nothing short of sensational. He, along with Derek Thomas. This is a defense that has some individual talent that's as good as any in the league.
Yeah, the guys are wearing so many patches this week. You see all the patches they got? They're beginning to look like tennis players with all these patches.
I don't know why we didn't have an outfit back to those days. They have 3 receivers. Trims formation to the near side. And George over the middle. Rison makes his first catch of the night and tries to get out of bounds, but he's caught from behind as Carter, ever so close, eventually made the stop, and we have run out of time. That's the end of the first half.
Yeah, you can slow him down, but you can't stop him. But did you see Dale Carter try to strip him of the ball?
And Carter still down on a knee.
Got to feel good, though, that right before halftime, Jeff George was able to get the ball into Andre Rison.
A lot of highlights coming up at halftime. Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta. Stay with us.
The Fruit of the Loom halftime report is brought to you by Fruit of the Loom. Clothes that make you feel good.
They're at the break at the Georgia Dome. There have been 6 turnovers. Andre Rison, only 1 reception. Joe Montana, a touchdown pass. The Chiefs over the Falcons, 10-0. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. This is week 3, and so far 3 teams have gotten out of the gate at 3-0. The Jets and Dolphins took aim at that perfect mark this afternoon at Joe Robbie. The Jets winning 5 of the last 6 against their AFC East rivals. Typical sweltering day in South Florida, about 100 degrees. Dolphins leading 14-7 in the third. Check this out.
Marino, play action, rolling to the right side, could run if he wants to, but fires downfield, complete to Jackson at the 10. He's at the 5, still going. Wow! Flyers in for the touchdown. Keith Jackson, lateral to Urban Fryer. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Miami stays perfect. Boomer Esiason threw 4 interceptions. The Jets lose for the first time, 28-14. Buffalo got 5 field goals from Steve Christie, 112 yards from Thurman Thomas, and 4 sacks from Bruce Smith in a 15-7 win over the Oilers. In the AFC West, the Chargers and Seahawks took 2-0 records into their Week 3 showdown, featuring quarterbacks who had not thrown an interception. Seattle's Rick Meyer and San Diego's Stan Humphries, the top-rated passer in the league. They played this one at Husky Stadium because the repairs on the Kingdome are continuing. Third period, 17-3 Chargers. And maybe a break here. Stan Humphries, is that a safety? You know, they say inside the 1. And Humphries takes advantage on the very next snap. This is gutsy and scintillating.
Running back, everybody into the pattern. Here is Humphries to throw. He's looking long, got a man open. It is caught at the 40-yard line by the Chargers. Streaking is Tony Martin to the 20, to the 10. He scores! A 99-yard touchdown pass. Stan Humphries to Tony Martin.
The first 99-yarder since Jaworski to Quick back in 1985. 24-10 over the Seahawks. Rick Meyer threw his first interception of the season. The Raiders 48-16 winners over the Denver Broncos. Jeff Hostetler 4 touchdown passes, 338 yards through the air. Washington and the Giants at the Meadowlands. Dan Reeves' guys are 3-0. Dave Meggett was the hero for the Giants.
Here comes Sherrard in motion from the slot left. Now he goes back. He has the handoff to Meggett. Option pass. Complete. Touchdown!
31-23, the Giants 3-0 as they beat the Washington Redskins. And it was the Niners with Steve Young throwing for 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, and running for 2 other ones, beating the Rams 34-19. 6 games down and 6 to go when the Fruit of the Loom halftime report continues. Buddy Ball, same song, 3rd verse. We'll be back. 9 yards as Pittsburgh beat Indianapolis 31-21. Back in 1978, the Eagles beat the Giants on the infamous Joe Pisarcik fumble returned by Herman Edwards for a touchdown when all the Giants had to do was run out the clock. Today, the Eagles almost gave the Packers a ball game the very same way at the Vet in Philly. Late 4th, Eagles up 13-7, about 2 minutes to go, just a shade over. Randall Cunningham trying to make something happen. Bad time to do that, though. He's sacked, he fumbles, and the Packers in those old throwback unis are all over it, and they've got a chance to steal this game. But it's 4th and 4. Last chance for the Pack.
Back goes Favre. He fires. Complete, but the tackle is made on Bennett by
Otis Smith is right. 13-7. The Eagles go to 2-1. The Packers fall to 1-2. Reggie White had 3 tackles in his return to Veterans Stadium. New Orleans and Tampa Bay in a game that lived down to its billing. New Orleans with 3 Morton Anderson field goals, 9-7 winners over the Tampa Bay Bucks. Both teams are 1-2 as a hip pointer sent Everett to the sidelines. Minnesota and Chicago, there's that Red Granger uni. They could have used him today for the Bears.
Back to throw. Cocks his arm, fires it. And it is picked off by the Vikings. On the sideline, here's Washington across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Vikings. Dwayne Washington on the pickoff.
Oh, they're yucking it up in the booth as Minnesota runs away from Chicago at Soldier Field. 42-14. The Vikings are 2-1. Terry Allen had a big day. More on that in a second. New England and Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium. 31-28. Drew Bledsoe 30 out of 50 for 365 yards, and David Klingler was sacked 7 times by the Patriots. I talked about the big day for Terry Allen, one of several who had big days on the ground. Barry Foster with that 179-yard effort after a sluggish start in the first 2 weeks of the season. Allen, who has had both knees surgically repaired, trying to become the first skill position player to come back from that. 159 yards. Thurman Thomas went over 100 for the 2nd straight week. So did Jerome Bettis and Terry Kirby of the Dolphins, and even 100 yards on the ground. Here on TNT, Sunday night, NFL, 10-0. The Chiefs with the lead over the Falcons. Joe Montana with a touchdown pass. Lots of turnovers, 6 of them so far. 3rd period just ahead.
Yeah, well, that's kind of nice.
And a nice hot dog for lunch.
Well, you know, you mentioned this, Bob, just a while ago. We thought this would be a shootout.
Yep.
We thought there'd be a lot more scoring. Instead, the highlights have been on the defensive side.
You know, with 6 turnovers in this football game, I mean, we've seen some great plays by defensive backs. I am surprised, but the quarterbacks have been out of rhythm, I think, because of some pressure. But great corner play by D.J. Johnson and Dale Carter.
Well, we're going to take a look at the Ryder game summary to show you what you were talking about as far as the turnovers are concerned. Coming into this ball game, Kansas City had not turned the ball over at all, and they have 3 here tonight. 2 interceptions by Joe Montana. And as you look at this game, 2 guys we want to really highlight are Dale Carter first of Kansas City, then D.J. Johnson of Atlanta. Let's look at Carter and look what he did in the first half.
Well, he did a little bit of everything. He knocks the ball down here. Early in the game, he made a terrific interception off Jeff George, his first in 279 throws. Then right before halftime, Andre Rison got him there. Maybe that makes Rison feel good, but he tries to strip the ball, cause the fumble.
Then on the other end, D.J. Johnson batted down one. That's this one right now, and then came back with an interception. So he was trying to match Carter on the other end.
Just perfectly timed defensive play by D.J. Johnson and Carter. And here comes the interception. Underthrown ball here by Joe Montana. And he picks it off.
And we're underway in this second half of play. This is Chris Penn, the rookie out of Tulsa, his first return in the NFL and his first game to be active, and he brings it out across the 30 to the 31. Ron Dickerson, who's been the return man, is out. He was hurt late in that game last week against San Francisco. So Joe Montana, who came into this football game with no interceptions and 4 touchdown passes, has suffered 2 in this game. His team has turned it over 3 times.
And we talked at the very beginning of the broadcast how good he is on the opening drive of a game. He's equally good on the opening drive of a second half. So I think this is an important defensive series for the Falcons down by 10 points.
From the 31, he starts it. Play action. Far side, wide open is Kendall Anders, and Anders, his first catch of the night. He came in here with 12 to lead the Chiefs. Makes the catch, moves it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
You know, Kimball Anders is one of those guys I think that you don't talk much about when you think about the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's versatile. I mean, he's not a big runner in this offense, but what he does, he catches the ball, and he's a very good pass protector.
Second down, 5. Willie Davis goes in motion. And Anders, this time across the 40, he's got the first down to the 42-yard line. Anders played in that run and shoot they had at the University of Houston when Andre Ware was his quarterback, the former or the Heisman Trophy winner a couple of years later.
He gets a very good block by Marcus Allen to set him up, number 32. But guess who's making the tackle? It's D.J. Johnson. I mean, D.J. Johnson's been downfield, knocking balls away, covering little fast wide receivers, intercepting the ball, and then he tackles Kimball Anders in the open field. Heck of a play.
First down at the 43. Catch by Keith Cash, and Cash hit and dropped right there. Pretty good tackle that time by Ron George. Ron George has been flying all over the football field, playing the Falcon position in this 4-2-5 for Atlanta. It's going to bring up now a second down and 3 yards to go.
There's a lot of guys flying around here tonight on defense. Certainly Ron George is one of them. You know, Pierce Holt up front. He and Will Shields have a pretty good battle going too up in the line area.
Allen, the single running back, 2 wideouts. Danny Hughes in motion. Marcus Allen chugging forward, trying to get the first down. Pretty good surge off the ball that time by that offensive line.
You know, Marcus Allen may be the best short yardage runner I have ever seen. I mean, because he never is exactly sure how he's going to get there. He may go over the top, underneath you, around you, through you. I mean, he has about 5 different ways of being able to pick up short yardage plays and first downs.
First time in 6 years to go to the Pro Bowl, but he's been there 6 times. And we mentioned he was in Al Davis's doghouse coming in here, and the Chiefs couldn't be happier to have number 32 wearing their colors now. First down. Hughes in motion. And Anders really getting a workout on this drive. Check it. That's Marcus Allen as Roger Harper made the stop there. Harper, a big safety. They list him at 223 pounds. He's 6'2". His second year out of Ohio State.
Yeah, but remember, in their situation, he plays a lot like a linebacker. I mean, that 4-2-5 they have, he's part strong safety, part linebacker, because what he can do is tackle guys, and he's very good close to the line of scrimmage. We just saw it right there as he tackled Allen.
Second and 9. Montana over the middle. Willie Davis makes the catch. First down to the 22-yard line.
If they are on a blitz, if you can give the quarterback a little bit of time, as the Chief offensive line did right there, you have a matchup that you like. You have nobody in the middle, no linebackers there that can get in the way, and you have one-on-one coverage with a wide receiver, Willie Davis. So the offensive line did a great job. The inside receiver, number 84, a perfectly thrown ball by Montana, and they're in business again on that opening drive in the second half.
In business of the first down at the 22. And Anders didn't get much on that play. You know, you go back to a Willie Davis, Pat. He is the guy who had to wait a long time to play in the NFL. 2 years on the practice squad, 1 year in the World League. He has worked hard to become a deep threat for this Kansas City team. He has 5 catches tonight for 70 yards.
Well, he's got 5, but Montana, as usual, is using everybody. Look at that. Burden with 4. The tight ends are catching the ball. The backs are catching the ball. That's what, if you get open, Montana will find you.
Second down, and they're going to blow this play dead as Montana backed up. The distribution by Joe Montana, keeping everybody happy.
False start.
A false start.
76, offense. Still second down.
A sold-out Georgia Dome as the Atlanta Falcons, wanting to see how much progress they made under new head coach June Jones, meeting an undefeated Kansas City Chiefs team. And we have a 10-0 ball game with 10:18 left in this third quarter. The Chiefs with 3 turnovers in the ball game. The Falcons also with 3, and Joe Montana trying to take this team to 3-0 for the first time since 1966. Second and 14. Marcus Allen to the 20. And Allen knocked from behind to the 15-yard line. Jesse Tuggle over there again. Also jumpy gathers.
If you ever get in trouble, Marcus Allen is a good guy to dive the ball, to dump the ball to. And Joe Montana at 38 still can move the little hush puppies around. I mean, again, if anything, everybody talks about the accuracy and everything else, but there's fundamentals. The way he works his feet, gets his body set up. I mean, that's one of the reasons he's so accurate, because his feet are so good.
Well, those hush puppies made you that way. He's 4 of 4 on this drive for 47 yards. Montana buying time, being chased. Ron George is after him. He tackled him inside the 10. He stayed in bounds. There's a flag now coming late.
I don't know. Any other player, maybe that's not a penalty.
He got to the 7-yard line. And Ron George showing his feet. He got him by face mask.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call a roughing penalty. Get those hush puppies moving again. I mean, this is one area he's always been able, not necessarily outrun people. He's got the high stepping going there, doesn't he?
On the tackler.
But really just buy himself a little bit more time. Yeah, there's the face mask. Take a look at it. Yeah, he got it. I mean, there's definitely got it. That's a penalty.
And so it will move it 1st and goal to the 4. Well, he was carrying those knees high. He looked like a running back.
Well, I'm not sure he was moving as fast as a running back, but he had the legs a pumping there. And that's a throwback weekend. He looked like one of those old, the old Heisman guys. Now, again, the opening drive, we talked about Montana, the opening drive, where he could just carve you up on opening drives of either half.
Donnell Bennett is in on the goal line situation. Number 30, the rookie, excellent blocker. He's going to get the ball, and Bennett scores. Donnell Bennett, their 2nd-round draft pick out of Miami of Florida. He threw a great block last week in a goal line situation on Ken Norton, and now they reward him with a carry for his first touchdown in the NFL. One of those patented drives that Montana can either start the game with or come out of the locker room at halftime with.
And he's even laughing about his scramble.
Those knees were pumping.
I like that. I'll tell you, I think everybody was looking at number 32 who went in motion, and then they give the ball to 30 Bennett, and he just snuck in right behind the block of Dave Zott for a touchdown.
Joe Montana with a 69-yard drive and 10 plays, capped on the 4-yard touchdown run by Donnell Bennett. 17-0, the Chiefs. Lynn Elliott will kick off to Tony Smith. 8:41 left in the third. That ball is going to barely make it in, I think, or did it go out of bounds?
40-yard line.
It ought to be the 40. It went out at the 1, maybe. I thought it was going to get inside the pylon.
Kickoff out of bounds.
So it's a 40-yard line.
Placed at the 40-yard line.
So from the 40, that's where the Falcons will have the football, but now down by 17.
Well, let's go back to the touchdown run. The first thing I want you to notice is Marcus Allen going to motion, but the real key block comes from Will Shields right here on this linebacker, and then Bennett just follows him right into the end zone. Anytime on a short yardage play you get in this cleanly, it means your offensive line are making some great blocks, and that time was Will Shields. And then if there's a portrait that goes in the Louvre, that's the one of Joe Montana.
So after they scored, they kicked it out of bounds, so Atlanta will start from their own 40. George, complete to Ricky Sanders. He's there for a 9-yard pickup. Let's go to the sideline. Here's Kevin Kyler.
Well, guys, at halftime, Marty Schottenheimer told his Chiefs that the defense played well, the special teams played well, but he took special note of 7 carries for 12 yards for the offense, and he said to Joe Montana, hey, only one more half, Joe. Let's go out and not lose the game. And then he also pointed out that the defense, if they don't let them score, they can't lose the game. I think all that lit a fire under the offense. Back up to you.
Boy, it really did, Kevin. That was an impressive drive. That last one took 6 minutes and 19 seconds, covered 69 yards. Second down and a yard now for the Falcons. George getting some protection. Complete to Mathis. First down inside the 35 to the 31. So now Atlanta trying to come back and answer. That's a 21-yard completion.
Well, on their opening drive, they got down to the 23-yard line, but the Falcons need to make something happen right now. I mean, Bryson got the catch right before halftime, but they come out in the second half and get the ball right back to number 81, Mathis. Now, what they haven't been able to do, really, is run very much after the catch. And that's what the Kansas City defensive backs want to do, is keep in front of them and hit them after the catch.
Mathis now with 8 catches. That ties his career high. Sprint draw handoff to Pickett. Pickett across the 25 to the 20, dragging a tackler for the first down. 12-yard pickup. Monty Groh made the stop. The rookie out of Florida. Good block that time by Roman Fortin, the center.
You know, sometimes you just let the big pass rushers run upfield and you don't have to block them with a physical block. Derek Thomas has raised havoc coming upfield and causing fumbles, but how do you slow them down? You run inside them. You run some draws and screens, and then you come back and throw the ball.
First down at the 19-yard line of Kansas City. They got Rison in motion now. George looking. The receiver Mathis fell down. He thought he was interfered with. There's no flag as the ball harmlessly goes skidding into the end zone. Dale Carter defending over there. Interesting, though. They had Rison in motion. Any tapes we've seen, he's always been split wide left.
Left wide receiver. It's the first time we've seen him in motion.
They're trying anything to get him open.
The left wide receiver. Again, he's just trying to shake Dale Carter.
Second down and 10 from the 19. This time, Rison will be split left. There's 3 wideouts at the top of the field.
And Dale Carter at the top of the screen, bumping, running on Rison.
Inside the 20, they've been effective, as you can see thus far. Here's Pegram again, and he takes some punishment as he's short of the 15-yard line. Dan Saliamua, who's so graceful, plays the game really with a lot of fun involved in it. Very quick. They like to isolate him a lot on the centers because he is so hard to block.
Well, yeah, it's not too often you call 300 pounds graceful, but I agree with you. Indeed, he is. And, you know, there's so much talk about Thomas and Neil Smith on the outside. He does get a lot of one-on-one situations with the center, and he's a good nose tackle who can rush the passer.
2 of 8 on third down, considerably below what they had done in the first 2 weeks. And somebody moved. Mickle, Thomas, and all his mates were off the mark. Let's see if it's against Atlanta.
Yeah, if it is, it's a great time to change up the snap count when you're struggling and it's a third down situation.
Encroachment.
Yeah.
58. Offense.
Don't waste those things on first down.
58. Defense.
There you go. You wait till third down.
That's the 9th penalty now against Kansas City for 75 yards.
You know, get the word that William White is not coming back, and Monty Groh, a rookie, number 22, is in his place at free safety.
Well, he was coached by Jim Bates at Florida, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Falcons. Third down, 2 yards to go. Quick slant, Sanders, and instantly tackled by the guy we were just talking about, Monty Groh. You know, Groh got hurt last year for the Gators. He started the first 5 games and broke his forearm, and as an end result was not drafted. He's a rookie free agent. So a first and goal now for Atlanta.
And here's the last play. It's just too far for Groh to get there. Remember, they only need 2 yards. And again, with a quick release, it's very difficult for a defensive back to make up the cushion, you know, a closing cushion. But a quarterback winds up, you have a chance to close, but not with Jeff George.
First and goal at the 8. Risen set in motion. George looking his way. He got it to him. He had to throw it between 2 defenders, but he got it there. And it's going to be second and goal from the 1. There is a flag on the play.
Well, that is squeezing the ball in there. By the way, I wonder if they had those kind of flags 75 years ago. You know, I think there was a golf ball in the bottom.
I wasn't around 75 years ago. Were you?
I thought you were wearing your flashback suit here and tie. Throwback. There you go.
I'm a real throwback. It's going to go against Kansas City. The option being explained to Jeff George. You're right, though. That ball had to be right on the button, and it was. But Risen able to somehow find the ball, and he is so good around the goal line. He has such strong hands, so competitive near the end zone.
Illegal contact, defense, first down.
You know, they have sent Risen in motion this second half. It's an adjustment they're making. They're trying to shake Dale Carter, but guess who you run into over there? It's number 34 again, Dale Carter. But then this ball is well thrown right in between Carter and Mincy, number 42. And that's a heck of a catch in traffic. And Andre Rison is awfully strong inside the 20-yard line.
So they take the penalty because it gives them a first and goal at the 4.
Right. But, I mean, there's a few guys down inside the 10-yard line as receivers who are really strong, and Rison's one of them.
Rison again goes in motion. Being followed this time by Mark Collins. Throw. Can't come up with it. Boy, Rison, when he gets close to that end zone, he just plays a little bit faster, just gets a little bit more competitive. Couldn't quite come up with that one.
Well, you're right. Even if he catches this one, he's not going to score, Gary. But they're just, again, they're trying to, clearly this second half, they're going to get the ball to him one way or another because they feel if they're going to win it, he's going to do it.
Second and goal from the 4. The Chiefs leading 17-0. 4:49 to go in the third. George flushed out. Throwing, broken up, intercepted. It's picked off by Monty Groh. He fumbles the ball. It's loose at the 22. Groh with the interception, but I think the Falcons got it back, and they did.
Yep. I tell you, when you have a lot of confidence in your arm, as Jeff George does, sometimes you really try to squeeze it in when you shouldn't. He did here. And Groh, who's tall, he's 6'3". George was trying to get this over his head. He's number 22. Trying to get it over his head, but he's trying to drill it in there. I mean, that's a heck of a play, and then a heck of a catch by Monty Groh. Another terrific defensive play we've seen tonight.
But the Falcons, with Ricky Sanders very quickly coming up with it, they have it at the 22.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Back to the Georgia Dome for more of the Chiefs and the Falcons in just a minute. First, the Isuzu Practically Amazing Play of the Day, and it comes from Joe Robbie Stadium, manufactured by the Dolphins' Dan Marino and his big tight end Keith Jackson, who draws a crowd here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I going to do? Oh, flip to Irving Fryer. Practically Amazing. The Isuzu Practically Amazing Play of the Day. Back to Gary and Pat.
Well, Ernie, it wasn't practically. It was amazing.
It was amazing. We've had some pretty amazing plays here. A lot of big defensive plays.
Well, 4 turnovers each for both teams. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles each. And now from the 22, Atlanta's with the football, still down 17-0. Complete to Mathis. Mathis with a career high now, 9 catches, gets to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to that last interception and fumble.
You know, it was the interception by Groh, number 22, but it was a hustling Eric Pegram, number 33, who strips the ball out of his hands. I mean, and you know, you just never know in a football game, Gary, even though they're down by 17 points, you hustle like that, you make something happen, and maybe you turn it around for your team.
Second down and 8 yards to go from the 20. ball, hand off to Pegram. Pegram breaks a tackle by Jamison, stays on his feet. That's a resourceful run. He looked like nothing was going to happen, and he picked up 5 yards on the play.
The Falcons are not going to win this football game, though, unless they can get some sort of vertical passing game going. Everything has been horizontal. Everything's been out in the flat. I mean, unless you can get a guy coming up the seam or deep down the sideline, you know, you're down 17 points. It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
So they need a big play out of a wide receiver in vertical fashion.
Pegram's carried the ball now 14 times for 74 yards. Their longest completion was 8 yards. So just back up what you're talking about.
You're averaging 8 yards a completion.
Yep, that's what I mean. From the 15-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Complete to Mathis, and he could not hang on because of a bone-jarring tackle by Charles Mincy.
And Charles Mincy is always around the football. You know, he's just playing as a nickelback tonight. But it seems like when he's in the game, something always good happens for the Chiefs. I mean, he intercepts the ball. See, number 42. I mean, he's driving on the ball. You deliver a blow like that, and even if the guy does hang on to it, he's going to remember it next time.
Yep. Mincy always around the football, and now we're going to have a timeout called, I believe, as a lot of confusion out there. And the timeout is going to go against Kansas City. They have 2 remaining. We'll come back as Norm Johnson will be attempting a field goal. Well, Jeff George cannot get a touchdown scored against the Chiefs, so he has now taken a seat on the sideline as Norm Johnson will come in and attempt a 33-yard field goal. Now, remember earlier, he had a 50-yard attempt blocked by Neil Smith.
Remember, we talked about the Kansas City special teams, how well they've played. I mean, they blocked a field goal. They downed a punt at the 5-yard line. You know, they've averaged, they've only allowed 19 yards on 3 kickoff returns, so the special teams have done a great job.
Kurt Schottenheimer has to be very pleased. 33-yard attempt now by Johnson. Johnson's kick is up, and Johnson, who was 26 of 27 last year, he had 26 in a row through the course of the last 2 seasons, easily hit that one. And Atlanta's finally on the scoreboard. They trail 17-3, 3:10 to go in the 3rd.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited.
Marty Schottenheimer does a lot of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, as a head coach, I mean, he does a lot of coaching on Sundays. Most head coaches do it all during the week, but he does a lot of it during the game.
So Norm Johnson, after that 33-yard field goal, kicking off 17-3, Kansas City. Chris Penn from the 5. Rally out to the 35, and the guy who led the NCAA in receptions last year runs that one out well. Let's go back to that last field goal by Norm Johnson.
I just want to talk about the effort of Neil Smith, number 90. Now, this guy is a certifiable star. He's number 90 over the center. Now, he doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't go on vacation. You know, and the point being, he almost blocked out. When he blocked one earlier, he plays every down on defense hard. He plays special teams just as hard. He's a star playing special teams. And Dale Carter, remember, another guy who's played great tonight, had a big special teams play.
That tape on his nose has got a story. We'll try to develop that. 1st down now after the nice return by Chris Penn. Montana, quick hits near side to Burton, and J.J. Burton is dropped at the 45. And let's take a look at tonight's Silver Bullet scoreboard. Week 3 in the NFL. As the Giants on top of the NFC East at 3-0. Eagles really surviving with a goal line stand in that ball game.
It's made you think about the Giants. You know, Phil Simms is gone. Lawrence Taylor is gone. Rodney Hampton was out. They're still 3-0.
And Dan Reeves off to another excellent start for the Giants. 2nd down now. 4 yards to go. Montana hit as he releases the ball. Caught by Willie Davis at the 48-yard line. Pierce Holt dropped Montana as he got rid of the football. Going back to the other action in the NFL, Buddy Ball is dud ball right now. The Bills are not scoring a lot of points. They only had 3 points in the first game. Steelers come from behind, and Harry Foster looks like he's back. And Bledsoe has just all 3 games been throwing the ball extremely well.
How many yards does he have again passing?
Over 1,100. That wasn't rhetorical that time. First down from the 49. Donnell Bennett's in the backfield, the rookie who scored a touchdown, and he'll spin and bang his way to the 45-yard line. Roger Harper eventually made the stop.
You know, down by 14 points, these Falcons are with, a minute 30 left here in the third quarter. The defense has played well for them. Their offense has put them in a tough situation, but they need another turnover. They've caught the 4 thus far, and they need to give Ryson another chance.
So from the 45, it's where they'll have it now.
Yeah. You know, the thing in the first couple of games with Ryson, Gary, even when he was covered, you know, they'd throw the ball up to him, he'd jump up, and he'd make a great catch. It's not really happened thus far in this game.
2nd and 7. Montana going up top, wide open. Dawson and Lake Dawson inside the 10 there, and they're going to give him where? Where's the forward progress? There's a flag thrown now. He's going to be marked just short of the 10-yard line. Lake Dawson, the rookie from Notre Dame.
Yeah, if the Chiefs, I think, are going to get to the Super Bowl, I think, Gary, it's the young players, young wide receivers like Lake Dawson. They're going to have to develop on plays like this because he gives them something they don't know how to face mask.
Number 27 defense, first down.
You know, he gives you something they don't have, a real strong receiver after the catch. Beautiful protection allowed Joe Montana to step up. A good adjustment by number 80, Lake Dawson, and then watch him bounce off a tackler. I mean, that's what you're hoping for from a big guy. When Montana had those big years in San Francisco, his wide receivers broke a lot of tackles.
And they were big. And Rice, of course, along with Taylor. The Notre Dame connection sets it up 1st and goal at the 5. Greg Hill checked in, the rookie, down to close to the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal there.
Well, Greg Hill, Gary, I think is going to make this team a good fourth quarter team if he continues to develop. Because by him spotting Marcus Allen is going to be fresh in that fourth quarter when they're really going to need him.
What a nice change of pace, huh? Well, they're not going to take another snap. We're going to go to the end of the third quarter. When we come back, it'll be 2nd and goal for Kansas City, just inside the 2-yard line. And Greg Hill thought he should have scored. He didn't get in, but we'll see what happens. Greg Hill stopped short of the goal line. He wanted to stay in on this goal line situation. 2nd and goal from the 2. Bennett the lead back to Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen trying to chug in, didn't get there. Allen, you might recall, last year had 12 rushing touchdowns, which led the NFL. And it's going to be make it 3rd and goal from the 1.
You know, Marcus Allen is an open-minded runner. I mean, his eyes, he knows where he wants to end up. He's never sure how he's going to get there when he starts to run. But, I mean, again, we talked about him being such a great short yardage runner, but that time it was Mel Agee who really pierced through and stopped him before he had a chance to get going.
Marcus Allen, they play action fake it. Montana rolling out, incomplete. And Ron George defending on the play.
Had Joe Valerio open. Big old Joe Valerio, who caught a touchdown pass last week against the 49ers. There he is.
By the way, that's the first incomplete pass this second half by Montana. He hit 7 in a row as Pierce Holt's down again.
Man. Pierce Holt gives you everything he's got every single play.
Yep. Well, they faked it to Marcus Allen, and Marcus Allen been able to score. That would have been his 115th career touchdown, which would tie him with John Riggins. We're going to take a break right now. We'll come back and get the status updated on Pierce Holt.
Let's go back to that last play by the Chiefs. Now, you think a fake to Marcus Allen would be a good call down here because he is such a good short yardage runner. And you see right there, he actually, if they gave him the ball, he probably could have scored. But Joe Valerio, a tackle eligible, was right here. Montana's not quite ready to throw the ball yet. So then he goes over and throws it to Cash. It's incomplete. And now they're kicking a field goal.
19-yard attempt by Lynn Elliott. And Elliott puts it right down the middle. And so it's a 20-3 lead. Kansas City. Chiefs looking for their third win. Chiefs with a 20-3 lead. Lynn Elliott, who's 2 for 2 field goal wise, had a 47-yarder back in the second quarter, and now a 19-yarder here at the beginning of the fourth. Tony Smith back deep. And Smith across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Well, again, Pat, Atlanta is going to have to somehow vertically stretch this Kansas City defense. They've just been picking away, but can't get anything really of big consequence.
Yeah, everything's been out in the flat. I mean, you know, they really haven't thrown the ball down the field much. And if you're going to be in a run-and-shoot offense, you got to give you guys a couple of chances down there. Now,
we've been told, by the way, Pat, that Pierce Holt, who left just before our last break, has a bruised right knee. Don't know whether he'll be back or not. This guy plays hurt as well as anybody in the league.
He came into the game with a bum shoulder, hurt that early in the game, came back in.
Craig Ironhead Hayward has now come in, replacing Peterman, running back. Sanders has had a strong game here tonight. His first performance for the Atlanta Falcons, out to the 32-yard line. He has 8 catches tonight for 52 yards. He had a high of 80 one year for the Washington Redskins.
You know, when you play a slot receiver in this run and shoot, we have a flag down, Gary. You have a guy in the slot. You have to be tough because you are going to be hit an awful lot after the catch.
Holding, 78, offense. Still first down.
So Mike Ken. And you also have to be a smart guy because those slot receivers have to be like quarterbacks. They're reading the coverage just as the quarterback is, and you have to see the same thing. And so playing the slot receiver on a run and shoot can be, you know, a difficult thing to do.
Well, Mike Ken, who's also 38 years old, matching Joe Montana, called for that particular penalty.
He played the original throwback game 75 years ago.
Pretty hard to do when you're 38. Here's George scrambling around and gets rid of it. Incomplete. Mathis trying to come back to the football at the 20-yard line. Right now, they are really collapsing the pocket and making Jeff George move around.
Yeah, Mike Ken has had his moments tonight on Derek Thomas. It's a tough matchup, but he's pushed him by a couple of times. That time physically he gets right in him and does a real good job.
Kind of grabbed him there at the end.
Yeah, Mike Ken has done a pretty good job on Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas did get the 1 sack and caused the fumble. And for the most part, he's pushed him right past the quarterback.
Second down and 20 now for the Falcons. George had to get rid of it. Hayward's got the football. Ironhead fumbled it. And it comes out to the 40, and the Chiefs have it. Mark Collins comes up with it at the 46-yard line.
Guess who caused the fumble? It was old Derek Thomas. I mean, you rush the passer with everything you got like he did, but once the quarterback throws it, you don't quit. You don't quit. You turn and run straight downfield as fast as you can, and you strip the ball carrier of the ball. I mean, that's a hustling Derek Thomas. 5
turnovers now by Atlanta.
Holding, 72, offense, it's declined.
And Gary, it's no accident that Kansas City has so many turnovers because they practice it every single day. Now, mind you, number 58, right there, Derek Thomas, who forced the fumble. He was rushing the passer when the play started. And then he got down 30 yards downfield. I mean, that is a remarkable hustling play.
They forced 8 turnovers the first 2 games. They've committed 5 here tonight. And they're going to stop this play. So they're well on track to, again, leading the NFL, a department that Marty Schottenheimer stresses time and time again, and you can see why.
Ball start, 76, offense. Replay first down.
That's John Alt. So they'll replay first down.
Gary, this is a throwback weekend, right? 1920 was the first NFL season. What do you think the biggest player, who was the biggest player in that 1920 season? I think I guess how big he would be.
About 6'2", 230.
Well, you're absolutely wrong again.
Oh.
Look at that. 6'4", 285. Frank Moran, the smallest player, Tuffy Khan, at 155 pounds.
Who did Tuffy Khan play for?
The Columbus Panhandles.
Montana throwing up the field. Complete. Keith Cash, and they have another first down, this time inside the 35-yard line. see why they want to get this guy more and more involved in the offense. He has really come on.
Yeah, this guy, Joe Montana. I mean, again, the guy is graceful. We were talking, if a portrait of any American athlete ever goes in the Louvre, it will be of Joe Montana.
You have to go to Paris to see it, right?
That's right by the Jardin des Tuileries, Gary. Have you ever been there?
Oh, you're good with your Spanish. First down at the 34-yard line. Look out. Montana gets rid of it to Greg Hill. Hill to the 30, 25, and knocked out of bounds. Jesse Tuggle over there to ram him out and try to strip him of the ball at the same time. That's an 11-yard pickup on the play.
So this Falcon defense, although the Falcons are going to go ahead and lose this football game, they're down 20-3 now. They have hustled and they have played hard. But would you get a guy with the speed of Greg Hill on the move on a little screen pass, you have a chance. But you see Archambault, number 92, hustling there. Jesse Tuggle, again, having another big year for the Falcons as a middle linebacker. I mean, you're always going to have a chance if your defense can keep you in the ball game. And the Falcon defense really has tonight.
First down at the 22. Donnell Bennett, the single running back, a flag on the play. They'll stop it again. So two rookies right now, Hill and Bennett, getting a lot of valuable playing time.
Ball start.
I'm not sure they had whistles
offense.
75 years ago.
Down.
I've got another throwback question for you. Jim Thorpe, 1920.
Yes.
Kicked how many field goals? What was his record as a kicker, field goal kicker?
5 of 9.
Absolutely wrong again, Gary. 3 of 9.
3 of 9.
3 of 9, only 33%.
Wow. I tell you, you're just a plethora of knowledge
Thank
here
you.
tonight.
I'm very good at the Christmas parties. Now, there's some throwbacks.
I didn't say you were entertaining. I just said you were informative.
I'll tell you this. Those are definitely throwbacks.
And better looking than the shoes you wear around.
Throw out.
Here is Montana to Hill, and Hill is tackled. Nice play that time, but Bill Goldberg is in there now, number 71. Chris Dolman did not play tonight. He was out because of a foot injury, and so they had to use different people. Mel Agee, and now Bill Goldberg is playing that defensive right end spot. They missed Dolman. This is a team that doesn't get a lot of heat on the quarterback. They had only 2 sacks previous to tonight. Last year, only had 26 for the whole year. That was last in the NFL.
Yeah, and they were worse in the NFL in giving up points as well. So it's a more disciplined offense. I think June Jones has got it going in the right direction here.
Second down and 14. Montana stepping up, and Keith Cash.
Here it comes.
Now there comes interference. That was inevitable. There was no way that Ron George wouldn't be called for that. He was draped all over Keith Cash.
Hey, I've noticed around the league the receivers are doing a much better job of begging this year for flags. Have you noticed that?
There is no infraction on the play. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Good call by Johnny Greer.
So it's going to be a third down and 14 yards to go. Let's see if we can see the tip.
If it is tipped, you cannot have pass interference. No, it was not tipped. That ball was not tipped. In that case, that was interference because it wasn't tipped.
Well, Marty's still thinking that they can come back from that on a 3rd and 14, leading in this ball game 20-3. Montana in the end zone, intended for Willie Davis, and Davis couldn't quite get up to it. That ball had a funny wobble to it.
Yeah, it did. And Joe Montana knows he had one that he let get away.
That ball just came out of there funny.
He came out of there funny with a funny wobble. Yeah, he thought he was stopped. He just said he thought he stopped. Yeah. Here's the route up the middle. We talk about a vertical passing game that the Falcons have not had tonight. Well, this is what I'm talking about. Getting the guy up the field. See, he slows down there. That's what Montana was complaining about. Said he keeps running through, he catches the ball for the touchdown.
45-yard field goal attempt by Lynn Elliott, who had a 47-yarder earlier, and he's hit it. And you have to be very happy for Lynn Elliott. Here's a guy that's followed a great kicking tradition. Nick Lowry for 14 years. Jan Stenerud, a Hall of Famer, and he makes it 23-3. Well, on the throwback games, you bring back some of the stars. That's Bobby Bell, the all-pro, who played at Minnesota, the University of Minnesota, then came to the Chiefs, played there from 63 to 74 for Hank Stram, and those Chiefs teams, they were something special.
Doing a little business on the right side.
Yeah, 66. He was in Super Bowl I against the Green Bay Packers. As Tony Smith will bring this one out. Smith breaks a couple of tackles, another flag. Smith again showing how strong he is as he bounces it out to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things Marty Schottenheimer has to be happy about tonight is they ran the ball, I think, pretty well tonight. I'm talking about the Chiefs. But their special teams really came on. Remember, that was a big question mark in training camp for the Chiefs. Their special teams lost 4 of their five top tacklers.
Holding, number 48, during the run back. First down.
But not only the fact that it was a suspect coming in, he had some players hurt here tonight. He didn't have Ron Dickerson able to play. Their kickoff return guy, they had to make an adjustment there.
See, they go into the throwback pictures too, Gary. These are all in black and white. Actually, they're on chalkboard. You have a guy upstairs drawing them on chalkboard. They send him down.
I thought maybe they're checking their credit or something. I wouldn't.
Hey, one thing about Joe Montana, though, he is always in the game. You know, they're up 23-3. And this game has really been put away by him and his team, and his head is still in the game.
Haywood, who fumbled earlier, staying on his feet. He's kind of been reborn here. He's shed about 30 pounds and has played very well as he brings it out to the 19th. Well, we will shift this TNT Sunday night special to the Meadowlands as the Jets and Bears will square off. The Bears with Dave Wanstead, a team that was playing some pretty good defense. Today, they really struggled against Minnesota. You know, Dennis Green has beaten Dave 3 straight, so they'd like to rebound against Boomer Esiason and the Jets and their new coach, Pete Carroll. And Rison wide open over the middle to the 46-yard line. Been a frustrating night for this guy. Rison 27 yards on the play, moves the chains to the 46-yard line. He has 2 catches, 47 yards. 9:48 left in the ball game. 23-3, Kansas City. Derek Thomas coming across. Derek Thomas, we're talking to the coach. He said, what makes him so good? He says he just makes a commitment to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Offside. 58 defense. He's going unabated to the quarterback. Still first down.
Hey, Andre Rison has had a tough evening, but this time he blows right by number 34, Dale Carter. Kind of in a little zone there, so he didn't have responsibility for him over the middle. That's the kind of the vertical game they've missed tonight, Gary. We've only seen 2 of those passes really all evening.
They didn't figure he'd have only 2 catches coming to the 9:27 mark of the game. And this time a very good catch by Bert Emanuel. That's his first catch tonight. The rookie from Rice. So all of a sudden now, as you see a flag also at the 35, 2 guys who figured very prominently in the first 2 games now make back-to-back catches.
Holding, 44, defense. It's declined. First down.
Darren Anderson, Gildy. So, of course, with the catch and the first down, they refuse it.
You know, we were talking about the run and shoot. They really don't set up a game plan from week to week. I mean, it's the same plays they run no matter whom they are playing. Yet you wonder why they just don't have, run a no huddle, too. I mean, it's the same plays. They don't game plan for anybody.
Mathis comes in motion. George setting up a screen to him. Mathis to the 25 and tackle there. Good open field stop that time. Good reaction by Mark Collins. Collins is the guy who's had so much influence on Dale Carter. He's a very smart football player, competes, and he has 2 Super Bowl rings with the New York Giants.
And he's been a great influence on Carter, as has William White been on Carter.
2nd and 5. Atlanta trying to get in the end zone for the first time. Andre Rison got it.
Well, all of a sudden they've come to life and gotten the ball upfield. Yeah, he's about to throw Andre Rison out of the ball game. Be careful, Andre. About to get thrown out. But in the play earlier that he caught, it was a little square in that zone route, Gary. That time, just beat Dale Carter on just an up route.
25 yards. That's the 5th touchdown catch of the season for Andre Rison. Norm Johnson to add the point after. 8:33 left in this game. 23-10, Kansas City. The Falcons finally got the touchdown, an 83-yard drive culminating in this 25-yard strike to Andre Rison.
Well, there has been a great battle going on tonight all day night long with Rison and Dale Carter. They're going to go at it one more time. Now, Carter's had the better of it most of this evening. But in the last two pass plays, Andre Rison has come alive. And he's got two speeds. He's got his regular speed, and then when the ball's in the air, he's got a different kind of speed.
A separating speed. He had 2 catches on that drive for 52 yards. Johnson kicking off. Chris Penn is back deep. Taken instead by the shorter man, Kimball Anders, and Anders brings it across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Well, you know, you wondered, had Atlanta not scored there, if Joe Montana would have continued to play in this football game.
Now it's a 13-point ball game with 8:22. There's plenty of time.
Thus far, Montana is 23 of 34, 289 yards. He suffered 2 interceptions. He's thrown 1 touchdown.
He would have had another touchdown had not the wide receiver slowed down just a moment ago.
So he continues. He's taken every snap.
They did the first 2 games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's been nobody else play quarterback in this regular season for Kansas City thus far. Far side, complete to J.J. Burton. Burton running and Gang tackled at the 39. A lot of red shirts. Ken Tippins was there. D.J. Johnson. Tippins starting in place of Clay Matthews, the veteran who they acquired from Cleveland and could not answer because of a hamstring problem. And they said they were very comfortable starting Tippins, who 2 years ago started 15 ball games.
Yeah, but the thing about Clay Matthews has played more plays at linebacker than any other player in the history of the National Football League.
234 games. 2nd down and 4. Bootleg. Montana wide open is Derek Walker, number 82. Walker had a touchdown pass taken away from him last week in a very controversial end zone play, but he caught this one, a 21-yard grab to the 40-yard line. Excellent fake that time by Joe Montana. That's Lake Dawson down right now for Kansas City.
You know, a lot of these plays at critical times in the game start with Marcus Allen. And again, it is just a fake to Marcus Allen, but it draws a lot of attention, and it leaves your tight end, Derek Walker, wide open on the right side. I mean, everybody followed Marcus Allen. Everybody thought they'd run the clock out or try to run the clock out. They fake it to Allen. They come back to Derek Walker, and that's a very easy play.
Derek Walker playing last year for San Diego. He started 11 games and hurt his knee and missed the last 4 games, but they picked him up just before the start of the regular season.
Yeah, I remember Bobby Ross saying he thought he was one of the most important players on that team a year ago.
37th 300-yard game for Joe Montana as he has 316 tonight.
And again, we've talked about his opening drives. He scored on both opening drives in the first half and the second half. And now you get down to 7 minutes remaining in the ball game. The Falcons think maybe they're back in the thing. And this is where he just kills you.
Yep.
He picks a little bit here, a little bit there. You just kind of bleed to death.
You get very graphic here. From the 40-yard line, first down. Pressure in his face, the blitz, and he still got rid of it. And J.J. Burton made the catch. What a remarkable throw that was by Joe Montana.
You're right. That was one when he threw it. I said, "Oh, they're going to intercept it and go the other way." But now watch the block. We talk about Marcus Allen at the very beginning of the show being a complete back. He runs, he catches, and he blocks. And he gives Montana just a little bit of an opportunity to throw that ball. But man, you talk about the uncanny accuracy of Joe Montana. That was an example of it, because I thought that ball had a chance of being picked off and run back.
Instead, they pick up yardage on the play. They pick up 6 yards, 2nd and 4. Play action to Marcus, who throws another good block. Montana, J.J. Burton, touchdown, Kansas City.
Oh, is that pretty? Is that pretty?
34 yards.
Critical situation. He's even had a smile on his face. Once again, the fake to Allen and a terrific block by Marcus Allen. Burden just on a mismatch with Charles Washington, really a strong safety type, a wide receiver on a strong safety type, and then again, he just knocks you out.
J.J. Burden with a strong game, Pat. That's 8 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Now I think they ought to take Montana out, Gary.
I think they will. Lynn Elliott, point after it. And so the master has mastered yet another team here tonight. And they're going to go 3-0 for the first time since 1966.
Yeah, you know, maybe the balls don't spiral as much as they once did, Gary. But, boy, they sure still get there. I mean, the accuracy is just phenomenal.
He makes good decisions and follows it up with good passes. And as an end result, they have a 30-10 lead. You know, we talked about there's a sense that this team feels they have something special going. Marcus Allen told us that last night. Joe Montana feels that way. This could be that very, very, very big year for this football team.
Well, you know, Gary, in the NFL today, you have peak periods. You know, a 2 or 3 year window where you have a real chance at the Super Bowl. And this is it for the Chiefs. It's this year and next year, and that window is going to close.
Yep, the old Super Bowl clock is ticking. And it looks like Steve Bono is going to get a shot at playing for the first time in the regular season when the Chiefs do get the football back.
And that's the right thing to do. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer said, if any opportunity I get this year, I can rest Montana, I'm going to.
6:17 left in the ball game. Marty Schottenheimer, who captured his 100th career coaching victory in opening day in a win over the New Orleans Saints. With an advantage here of 30-10. Tony Smith bringing it out, flags everywhere, and Smith is going to be tackled at the 20-yard line. I don't think we've had a kickoff tonight. We haven't had a penalty flag.
Yeah.
Holding against.
So that was a terrific call as you watch J.J. Burden. He's the guy in motion, and they're trying for a mismatch. Here's the blitz coming up here, but he's going to get matched up on a strong safety, number 46, Charles Washington.
Holding.
You know, with the blitz, you get a little bit of a roll. You pick up a nice block by Allen, and then you know it's just a race, and J.J. Burden's going to win that race. And good call by Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, and very good execution by the Chiefs.
So the penalty now moves it back to the 10-yard line.
Now, just when you think you're climbing back into the game, one more knockout punch.
Well, the old stake is driven in, right?
Yeah.
George over the middle, complete to Ricky Sanders, and Sanders is knocked down short of the 25. That'll be a first down. 14-yard pickup on the play.
Now, Derek Thomas, number 58, is coming just as hard. I mean, he didn't care what the score is. He just attacked my kid. Did you see that?
Looked like a dance step.
I mean, I love watching these guys. He and Neil Smith, a lot of these guys, they just play hard every down. Special teams, first down, third down.
There's Terrence Mathis. Mathis skips out for another first down. I tell you, give Atlanta some credit, though. They are coming back, fighting back. They have played very hard. Jeff George has found a new home here. He is going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of football teams this year.
You know, I think he had a bad rap in Indianapolis, Gary. And one thing I can't believe I've heard people say it, but I didn't think he was very tough. I mean, here's a guy that was sacked 146 times, I think, there, and only had one injury that whole 4 years.
He's thrown the ball 40 times tonight, completed 26 of them, 272 yards. And attempt number 41 finds the arms of Mathis as he's knocked out of bounds at the 44. Dale Carter defending on the play.
You know, Gary, in kind of honor of a throwback weekend, you know, you kind of wonder about the game. The old luxury boxes, 1994. You get up there, you have a little shrimp cocktail, a couple beverages, and that's the old luxury box from 1920. That's what it was like. No shrimp cocktail served.
It's like they tied him down on it. Here's George again. And up the field, broken up. Nice. A good play by Jay Taylor. Taylor, on a pass headed for the far side to Burt Emanuel, stepped in and batted it away. Jay Taylor, very good cover guy. He played for Herman Edwards at San Jose State when Herman was an assistant, and now, of course, the defensive backfield coach for Kansas City.
Yeah, Herman Edwards has done a great job the last couple weeks coaching his defensive backs. And he really took a shot from Monty Grove there on the sideline, too.
So it's a 3rd down and 2 yards to go for Atlanta. Hand off. Hayward. Greg Hayward across the 50 to the 48. That's a 1st down.
He is looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks so much different. He looked like an offensive lineman the last few years. He played last year for Chicago after playing so many years for the New Orleans Saints. He's really got his life together right now, and he can contribute. He can block. He picks up some people when they come after Jeff George. His pass dropped. Terrence Mathis, who's had a very impeccable night, could not quite hang on to that one. We've just been handed a note here that Montana, with 356 yards passing tonight, that's his best since November of '90. And that's when he had 411 yards against Green Bay.
Well, he had one of his best games, or his best game ever, against the Atlanta Falcons a few years ago. He threw about 490 yards and I think 6 touchdowns.
476 yards. This, by the way, is a Georgia Dome record, we've been told, the 356 yards.
78 offense, still 1st down.
Well, he now is, what, 18-4 in domed stadiums?
Yeah, this is the first visit to Atlanta for the Chiefs since '72, but they didn't avoid Montana, of course. Atlanta being in the NFC West, so they got to see him every year, much to their chagrin. George, complete to Mathis. Mathis steps out of bounds. You know, this is an exhausting game for a defense. You're leading 30-10, and they're stretching you all out. They're throwing the ball from one sideline to the other. This guy's going to get arm weary after a while. But again, give credit to Atlanta. They just keep fighting back, trying somehow to finish this game on a positive note.
Yeah, you know, Atlanta's not going to win this game, but I mean, I think you have to be encouraged about a couple things. I think defensively, even though they surrendered 30 points, defensively, they played pretty solidly for most of the game. They got some great plays out of certain individuals. Offensively, where I thought they were going to be strong, they have some work to do.
George complete to Sanders. Sanders takes it very close to the 1st down as he stopped at the 38-yard line by Dale Carter. Well, Kansas City will be at home against the Rams next week. That'll be their 4th straight NFC West opponent. And they've been judged to have the toughest schedule in the NFL. And the thing that they have staring them in the face is trying to win in Mile High Stadium. They have not won there since '82. Of course, Denver is off to an unbelievably bad start. 0-3. And there's Jaime Fields. He had a pick. He just hung on. Andre Rison, the intended receiver. Fields is very good in this defense. He's kind of a tweener. He's between a safety and a linebacker. And when you go to that 4-2-5, it really fits his abilities. What are you grinning about?
I'm just thinking. But you're right. You know what Fields has done well tonight. They used him. They started the game as an inside linebacker and a coverage guy, and he has had a very solid game. And you know, those 2 inside guys, they have to stop the run. They did a pretty good job on Eric Pegram.
Okay, 4th down and a yard to go, and Ironhead, bang, goes inside. The ball's loose again. And Kansas City has about 5 guys on top of Hayward. Let's see who's got it. Hayward had fumbled earlier, you might recall, and it's Kansas City's football. That's the 6th turnover tonight against Atlanta.
I mean, this has been phenomenal. They had 8 turnovers coming into the football game. The defense had forced 8 turnovers, 6 more tonight. And there have been some incredible collisions, not only that one, but by defensive backs of the Chiefs. I mean, I'd say Monty Grove has played awfully well in support of William White. I mean, he came in, White got hurt. He came in and he made an interception, caused a fumble. You know, tattooed a few people.
I tell you, you got to give the Chiefs a lot of credit. They find players seemingly that no one else is interested in. Monty Grove, one of those rookie free agents. They find guys, and got to give Carl Peterson a lot of credit. He solves problems when they need players, and I'm surprised, aren't you? Joe Montana is still a quarterback.
Very surprised. Get him out of there.
Why would they do this, Pat? Mono needs some snaps, too. Here's Greg Hill across the 30 to the 37. As we mentioned, no one has taken a snap in this regular season but Joe Montana.
Yeah, the game, they're up by 20 points. There's 3:45 remaining. I think you don't risk it. I mean, if they're going to go to the Super Bowl, that guy has to be healthy.
Yeah, no question. And he had a tough time staying healthy last year as he missed 5 starts. And there's Carl Peterson, the man I was talking about, who has really done a great job of mixing and matching and finding players. And this team looks awfully good. Greg Hill to the 40-yard line. And we got some pushing and shoving going on down. There's some frustration as Haden Hughes is tied up with one of the Atlanta Falcons. So it'll be a 3rd down and still 4 yards to go. So it'll be a 3rd down and still 4 yards to go. Chris Dolman did not play. Of course, he's the guy they acquired from the Minnesota Vikings for a draft pick, a 1st-round draft pick. He did not play because of a foot injury. He still hasn't gotten a sack this year for Atlanta, but he did tip a pass last week that led to an interception in that win here in the Georgia Dome last week against Los Angeles. Montana over the middle, Cash with another catch, and Tippin finally wrestles him down.
Boy, is he tough on 3rd down?
He is tough.
Turnovers, that has been the difference in this ball game tonight. We've talked about how Kansas City has done so well, but look what's happened in the NFL in the first 2 weeks. Teams with a positive turnover ratio were 14-4. Those with even, there was 4 of those teams, were 6-2. And look at that, 15 teams of the 28 were negative, and they were 8-22.
Well, and Atlanta can point to that column and say that was our demise here tonight. We'll be back. We have the 2-minute warning. Gary Bender, Pat Haden, and it's not a happy night for Jeff George, but on the other hand, Joe Montana, brilliant tonight, and we've been told he'll be a guest on the post-game stadium show with Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley, and Lawrence Taylor. As right now, Montana with 361 yards passing.
Boy, and he could have had over 400 easy. He had some guys open deep, didn't hit them, but boy, on the important plays, Gary, he made them all.
Yep. Here's Greg Hill, and Hill out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 3. And a timeout called by Atlanta. They have 2 left.
Kickers are an odd sort. You can kick it, you can sit on it.
Pretty creative, though.
That's a good balancing act.
I've seen them sit on helmets, but not both. I mean, that's very creative.
Well, you're easily impressed, Gary.
Well, I am. Being around you, that happens. I don't know why. So with 1:55 left, Marty Schottenheimer saying, let's just get this over. Let's get home and get ready to play the Rams next week.
Again, that's why I really don't understand Joe Montana being in the game. And June Jones, I think this is a team that's on the rise. They had not too many great moments tonight, but in my mind, no doubt the Atlanta Falcons are a better team than they were a year ago.
Well, this Kansas City team has won 10 or more games 4 straight years. Marty was saying we're going to find a way this year to win 13. What they want to do is get the home field advantage in the playoffs. Not have to go to places like Buffalo late in the year.
Well, that's right. And couple of key games coming up. They go to Denver. They have to win in Denver, which they haven't done since 1982. They go to Buffalo, I think, in October this year. And that'll be a big game when they go to Buffalo and play them, because remember, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head competition. There they are.
Derek Thomas with another all-pro type performance tonight. Marcus Allen, he'll be in Canton, Ohio someday.
Be back in Kansas City tomorrow.
Montana will be in Canton, Ohio. Going to have to build a new wing for just the Chiefs. We're going to have a timeout called now by Joe Montana as he goes to the far side. And that's going to give us an opportunity to announce our Cadillac player of the game. And we're going to give it to Dale Carter, who was a thorn in Andre Rison's side. 11 tackles, 1 interception. He downed a punt at the 5, inside the 5-yard line. And he made some remarkable plays in the open field. And Andre Rison's going to go home tonight and have a newfound respect for number 34.
He set the tone, the tempo for this entire night. And that, early in the first quarter when he picked off that pass.
Yep. And Rison standing there after catching 26 passes in the first 2 games, had only 3 tonight. Jeff George is going to have a weary arm after this is all over. So the Chiefs with 1 timeout remaining, and Montana now back in the huddle. This Atlanta team, by the way, their next game is at home against, or they're at Washington next week, where they have not won. They're 0-10 at RFK.
Well, for the last 3-0 start, they don't like the losing part in the Super Bowl. They sure would like to get there.
But now we've got another timeout by Joe Montana. What's going on here? Huh? Explain that one to me. Back-to-back timeout.
Marty said he can't believe it.
So they have now used their final timeout with 1:09. That 66 team, though, what a team that was. The Green Bay Packers, Lombardi in their heyday. Of course, they went on the next year to win the next Super Bowl, defeating the Raiders. And Kansas City with Hank Stram as the head coach. They'd been the Dallas Texans, had moved into Kansas City.
Yeah, remember old Lenny Dawson in the moving pocket, throwing the ball to Taylor.
We've been told now they didn't get a timeout. There was a delay of game instead, so they still have 1 timeout left. I'm sure that's very significant of the outcome of this one.
I'd hate to see Marty when he's losing.
Montana hands off to Hill, and Hill bursts across the 45 to the 43 and got the first down.
How about old Derek Graham, number 74 there for the Chiefs? I mean, he didn't care. It's 30-10 and less than a minute in the ball game. I mean, he's going to block it. He's having some fun.
Well, he's really been coming on. And talking to Marty, he said that this guy is getting better and better every week and will be a very valuable 3rd offensive tackle. Backing up Ricky Sigler on the right side and John Olt. He's just had a lot of knee trouble, been hurt a lot. So on first down now, they've got the safety valve about 12 yards behind the snap. As they'll go to a knee, Atlanta going to let this game in. And Marty Schottenheimer's team goes to 3-0. They're on top of the AFC West, tied for first. And June Jones, on the other hand, his team now goes to 1-2, and he found out some things about his football team. He wanted to have this as a test to see how far his team had progressed. So Pat and I will be back with some final thoughts here, where Joe Montana and the Chiefs playing like a team that wants to end up in Joe Robbie Stadium on January 29th.